stake here. We know it's a division game. We know it's a home game. Those are two games that we have to win throughout the season. Home games, division games are a must. There's a must-win for us. We got to come out and play a lot harder and a lot smarter than we did last week to have a chance. These guys are coming in here, high expectations as we are. Bad start to the season. They had a bad start. Somebody's going to get off on the right track tonight, and it better be us. It needs to be us.
As the Arena Football League has grown from just 4 teams to 19 in 20 years, one of the bedrock franchises of the league has been the Orlando Predators, with their loyal and raucous fan base. And tonight, the Preds and their backers celebrate a new home season against the AFL's newest entry, the Kansas City Brigade. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our coverage tonight. Rick Peckham along with James Bates and Terry Norvel with you. And James, you talk about the Brigade and the Predators both coming off opening week losses. They're going to be going head-to-head all season long in what should be a very tough Southern division. They both need a win tonight.
And two coaches talking to them before the game, and Kevin Porter and Jay Gruden, you'd never think their teams were 0-1. Both felt very good about their team's performances last week in the losses.
When you look at the starting quarterbacks, both very talented guys, but a big contrast in styles between Andy Kelly and Joe Hamilton.
I'll say, where do you start? How about body type? And big Andy Kelly, the gunslinger, he's got that three-step drop, and he gets out there and frustrates defenses. Very hard to defend against him. He's one of the best ever to play in the AFL. And a young pup who's getting his feet under him, had a rough opener last week. Some design plays for Joe Hamilton tonight. And you know, Rick, way back in high school, I had a coach, Kenny Ratledge. He said, you don't point the finger, you point the thumb. And here's a guy who points the thumb. He's taking this on himself. Jake Gruden said he wants to come out and redeem himself. He's going to be chomping at the bit.
Well, it should be a great matchup tonight here in the jungle. The Preds fans are loud and proud, and they are ready to open up their 16th season of football here in Orlando. We'll have tonight's opening kickoff in just a moment. Welcome back to TD Waterhouse Center as the Kansas City Brigade, Orlando Predators set to do battle, and we're ready for a big night of arena football before what should be a sellout crowd here at Hummer Field at the TD Waterhouse Center. Predators in their 16th home opener. They're 11-4 in home openers, and the Brigade set to kick off to start the action here tonight. The Arena Football League, of course, enjoying its 20-year anniversary season, and before the game, the 20-year banner was raised here at the TD Waterhouse Center. And let's check in downstairs with Terry Norvel.
Guys, I'm with Kansas City head coach Kevin Porter. Coach, disappointing opening loss, yet you scored 44 points in 3 quarters, but the first quarter really was your undoing.
Well, we're encouraged by what we did in the second half of the football game, so we're going to go out here, play hard, had a good week of practice, see what happens.
Good luck, Coach. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks very much, Terry. As Kevin Porter began his coaching career here in Orlando. On the staff of Jay Gruden, as Jerry and James is back to receive the kick from Tim Cedar, the former kicker of the Dallas Cowboys. And this big crowd anticipating the opening kickoff, James, and always a lot of fun here in the jungle.
Oh, you know, they had the AFL's top 20 players of all time that was announced. I bet you this crowd may top up there one of the best crowds in the history of the league, too.
Cedar's line drive kick bobbled by James, but he's got it. And he reaches the 9-yard line as he was tackled there by Calvin Spears. And that is where Joe Hamilton and the Orlando Predators will begin play. EA Sports brings us our look at the starters and offense for the Predators. Hamilton in his 3rd year at the controls. Jimmy Frizzell, an outstanding rookie season. He's the offensive specialist. And working up front, Reggie Lee, the 10-year veteran with Justin Cleveland and Henry Taylor. First play and the connection to Frizzell. And it's good for about 6 yards. Jimmy Frizzell caught 78 balls last year, but he played only 10 games, James.
And he's doing it here in his hometown. He was a UCF Golden Knight. Got this year's UCF coach, George O'Leary, here in the building. Watched the Preds play a little bit, but Frizzell was huge for the Preds and Jay Gruden last year.
Hamilton and Frizzell gained 7 yards on first down Andrew Rubin, an AFL rookie in motion, and Hamilton looking for him. He's got him inside the Kansas City 20-yard line. And it's Travis Coleman, number 27, just activated this week on the tackle. Coleman in that secondary. Chris Pointer is the key man of the matchup, a veteran. As we look at the DBs and linebackers, and up front, B.J. Cohen. Boy, he almost made that all AFL top 20 in league history, and what a great performer he's been, both for the Predators, 4 years as a member of this Orlando team, and now in Kansas City. First and 10 from the Kansas City 17-yard line. Rubin in motion once again. They dump it over the middle, and it's Big Henry Taylor, the tight end, and the 300-pounder knocked out of bounds by Chris Pointer, as well as Jacquez Rumpf. We got a penalty marker down. Holding against Orlando indicated. That will negate what was a 12-yard gain.
During the run, holding offense, number 81, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, remains first down.
There it is over in the corner. That's a good call. And right there in front of the referee, and Jay Gruden not happy with that call and that hold by Cloman, but he's got to be happy with the play of Joey Hamilton and the blocking of that offensive line up front. He told us right before the game, Rick, he said, I was really hard on Joe last week. I let him have it during the game, and I went back and apologized afterward, but I need him to play better, and he has so far.
First and 13 from the 20, and Rubin on the receiving end here, and he's rubbed into the boards over there by Coleman as well as Rumpf. He's marked out of the 9-yard line. He'll pick up 11, and they will have a second down and 2. Travis Coleman activated this week, couple of key injuries. Cliff Green out for the season in that Kansas City secondary as he tore his Achilles tendon.
Tightens up a little bit down here near the goal line, but an impressive opening drive in the offensive line, giving Joey all kinds of time.
Hamilton knocks it in the end zone. Rubin makes the grab for the score. He got the break on Denario. Smalls got free in the end zone, and the product of the University of South Florida on the receiving end of that score early in the ball game.
Pretty good blocking up front. There's the man in the yo-yo motion. The Andrew Rubin coming off the top, and it's hard to cover him full speed. When those receivers hit the line full speed, it's so hard to cover him that tight. And nice throw right on the money by Joe Hamilton, just waiting for his young receiver.
Jay Taylor on for the extra point. Jimmy Frizzell holding, and the kick is good. And so Orlando opens the scoring on the game's first drive. Joe Hamilton, 9 yards to DeAndrew Rubin, and it's the Preds 7, and Kansas City will get the ball when we come back.
Fox.
DeAndrew Rubin caught a TD pass in his first game in arena football last week. Scores here. Let's have a look at some of the new rules in the AFL this season.
Well, there are a lot of them. Here are just a few, and don't get confused. Just know that kickoffs that go over the net now are going to be spotted at the 2.5-yard line. This is an important one here for the jungle, because the end zone walls, this place wasn't built for arena football, and the walls are live now, and that worries Jay Gruden a lot. They had their first walkthrough in the building on Thursday, and he preached to his team, hey, be careful of those walls. And then the pump fake for that jack linebacker. The jack linebacker, Rick, he's going to drop in that little 4-yard box that he can drop into. In the past, when the quarterback pump faked, he could leave that box. Now you can't. That's going to get tricky. I'm anxious to see, as this season progresses, how they're going to call that, how strictly they're going to call it, because it could get ugly. They could throw a flag every other series, it seems like.
And as we know, the key to football is outfoxing the linebackers. As the kickoff hit the upright, it's loose in the end zone and goes out beyond the end line. It'll be a touchback, and he'll bring it out. But just kidding, James Bates, former Florida Gator linebacker. As we check the EA Sports starting lineup for the Kansas City offense, 13-year man Andy Kelly at the controls. Jarrell Myers, who was making his debut last week and caught 9 balls. He's off to a great start, along with James Jordan, Jacquez Rumpf, and up front it's B.J. Cohen's a tight end. He's the all-time leader in AFL history in catches by a tight end. Lucas Yarnell is mic'd up tonight. We'll be hearing from him later on. A Kansas native from Topeka. Kelly. All-time leader in a number of passing categories, and his first throw is good. Completed to Jacquez Rumpf as we check out the starters on defense, brought to you by EA Sports. Jermaine Mays making his arena debut last week. Jared Johnson in that secondary. Kenny McIntyre, the glove, 3-time AFL Defensive Player of the Year. Henry Taylor registered a sack in opening week. He's a veteran picked up from Nashville in the Corey Fleming deal. Here's a pass for the waiting James Jordan, the 225-pound receiver and linebacker fights his way across the 20-yard line, and he'll have a first down for the Kansas City Brigade.
Good job by Andy Kelly getting rid of that ball. Big Greg White leaping over the offensive lineman that went at his feet, and Andy stepping to the side and getting rid of that football. That 3-step drop, he's the king of it, and it'll frustrate these defenses. It's so hard play against Andy Kelly when he's out there slinging it like he does so well.
That was Rumpf in motion, and Kelly looks his way, he's wide open in the end zone. It's out of his reach. He didn't have a player within 15 yards of him, and Rumpf just could not get to it. Jacquez only 5'8", 180. He needed to be 6 feet tall for this one.
Well, miscommunication. This was the major problem last week, Jay Gruden said. He said we had some young guys. They're not so much rookies, but they haven't played together and they haven't communicated. Like in the past, you had Damon Mason and Kenny McIntyre back there. They were so huge playing together for so long, and you got to get on the same page. Andy Kelly's got to put that one out there where his receiver can catch it, though.
2nd and 10, and Gerald Myers with the grab. He's near the first down inside the Orlando 20. And Jarrell Myers with 9 grabs, 2 touchdowns for 81 yards in the 58-44 loss last week in Dallas with his first grab of the night here, and it is a first down.
Everybody thought it was going to be Steve Smith making those kind of numbers. Steve Smith, a big player here for this offense, has been a big player in this league. He was a big player in high school here in the state of Florida, played his ball at Glade Central with Fred Taylor, Reed Al Anthony.
Smith is suited up for this game, but as a specialist, here's the pass. It's over the head of Rumpf, and incomplete. Jared Johnson there on the coverage. Johnson's in a tough spot here, talking to Jay Gruden before the game, and Jay pointed out that that center fielder, if you will, in the secondary, he's got to match up usually with a guy in motion, and he bears most of the responsibility in that secondary.
One of the things we saw it earlier on the touchdown by Orlando. So tough, you know, it's why when you run that 40-yard dash, you start from a stance. You don't hit the line full speed. You hit the line full speed, and it's so tough on those DBs, but it's one of the things that makes this game so beautiful.
Johnson will pick up Rumpf in press coverage here, and Jordan waiting along the sideline, breaks free inside the Orlando 5-yard line. James Jordan out of Louisiana Tech, bringing it all the way down near the Orlando 2-yard line for a 1st and goal.
Way to keep those legs churning. You get it, turn it, and go. And Mays has to do a better job of stepping up and wrapping up. You can't win football games tackling like that. There's 1-2 missed tackles, and even coming on at the end, you see Johnson coming in there, putting his headgear in. You got to have guys flying around in that defensive secondary, wrapping up and bringing them down to the turf.
Lucas Yarnell having a problem with his helmet here and given a little time to get things straightened out by Riley Johnson. The referee for this game, Trent Sullivan, is the offensive coordinator of the Brigade. After consulting with Andy Kelly, he's back in the huddle with a play call.
Well, Yarnell, just don't mess our microphone up. We got him mic'd up. He knows about those microphones, though, Rick. He was in the longest yard.
That's right.
A lot of these arena guys in those movies.
Rumpf circles in motion. Picked up by Johnson on the slant. It's Jordan. He's got it for the touchdown. James Jordan at 6'2", 225. Too much to handle for the Orlando secondary there on that slant pattern. And the Brigade are on the board.
Well, it's just not fair. This is why they call him the glove. Kenny McIntyre was all over him, but the big body of James Jordan, it's an easy throw for Andy Kelly. And it's just like basketball. He walls off Kenny McIntyre, and it's a touchdown the other way.
Tim Cedar on for the extra point. Former Predator backup quarterback Chris Sanders now backing up Kelly with a Brigade. He's the holder, And the kick is good, and with 6:36 remaining here in this opening quarter, both the Predators and the Brigade have struck on their opening drives for a 7-7 score.
I woke up in the middle of the night, terrified. Someone tried to come in my house. Fortunately, we had an ADT security system.
Mrs. Parker, this is ADT. We're receiving an alarm. Are you all right?
Yes, we're okay. I'm glad ADT was there, watching out for my family.
Don't take chances. Take control of your family's safety with ADT, America's #1 security company. Call now and save up to $200 on ADT protection packages. ADT, always there.
Hey! So, what have you been up to?
Nothing. So what have you guys been up to?
Nothing.
We're tied early here in Orlando, coming up on Sunday. On NBC, a couple of great matchups. The Avengers and Soul, both winners in their opening week with great defensive efforts. And then a rematch of Arena Bowl 19, the Crush, the Arena Bowl champions against the Georgia Force. Both those teams 1-0. And check your local listings to see which. Wow,
Certainly are. Brett Muncie goes up there and takes a few Predators with him to Philadelphia, playing that defensive mentality, and it was the Georgia Force last week that took down Jay Gruden's Predators here.
The former high school teacher signed on with the Cowboys as a free agent from his teaching days back in 2000. Now kicking off for the Brigade, and a big collision at the 5-yard line as Jerry and James rocked on the hit by Jordan and Coleman.
Well, one of the things that makes this game so unique, you got to wait on it and catch it off the netting. Imagine you've got these guys barreling down on you, guys like Big Jordan, and you've got your back turned to them. It's different than the other game where you're sitting there, even you're fielding a punt or a kickoff, and you can see, you can feel what's going on around you. Here you've got your back completely turned, and you have no idea what funny hop that ball is going to take coming off the net. Throw in the fact that Jay Gruden and his squad, they can't practice in this arena that much, so they don't get a chance at the nets. They're outside.
Pitch pattern to Rubin, who caught the TD pass on the Predators' first possession. He's knocked out near the 13-yard line. You noticed on that kickoff return that James had 1 foot beyond the end line. That is allowed. You're always encouraged in the Arena Football League to promote returns, and that's why you saw the rule change where kicks over the net now spotted at the 20. And that was a rule change a couple of years ago so that you didn't have a lot of dead balls.
It's one of the things that makes this game so fan-friendly. I mean, the fans sitting right here and they get to see these big collisions by guys like James Jordan, who caught the touchdown and then goes down and makes the big play, covering Jake. Why it's Iron Man football.
Darian James dives forward for a first down on that screen pass, reaching the 22-yard line. Jerry in a 38-catch season as a rookie here in Orlando last year.
Changed his number on us.
He sure did. I wonder if he's changed his style. Very energetic. And hey, you'd like to mic him up, I'll tell you. He's talking to opposing players all game long.
He's got a guy lined up across him right now in Pointer who has done some jawing in his day. Learned it from the other Steve Smith in Carolina.
Both members of the debate teams at the University of Houston and Kentucky State. The pass goes to Rubin. He's knocked out of bounds at the Kansas City 20-yard line. They're going to be a couple of yards short of a first down. Jay Gruden, one of the all-time greats in this game, and just about any role you put him in as a quarterback, winning 4 Arena Bowl championships. 7 head coach, he's won 2 championships as a coach. He's won a Super Bowl ring, assisting his brother John Gruden of the Tampa Bay Bucks in 2002. Handoff goes to Marlon Moya Moore, and he is met head on there by Jordan, who's the early two-way star of this game.
I'll say we'll hand out the Iron Man of the game here later, but watch Jordan come in here. Moya Moore, you got to get a better pad level than that. You can't go running in there when you got the big dogs charging with your pads up that high. You got to lower those shoulder pads and get those legs churning. You gave Jordan too much of that body to hit, making him pay. So we've got the big touchdown, the big lick there, and then covering those kicks. Number 4 is all over the field for the Brigade.
They're down at about a foot. Hamilton on the keeper, nowhere to go. He's going to lose significant yardage back to the 22-yard line. They needed to reach the 18-yard line, but great penetration by the Brigade, led by Mike Landry, a member of the all-rookie team last season. And as a result, now it's 4th down and 4 for the Preds.
Jay told us that last week he was so used to last season, just a terrible run as far as the field goals went, and the extra points that the kicking was pretty bad for the Preds. He didn't even think to kick it, and you'd think maybe he'd try to kick it here, but they're going for it.
They missed on 3 tries for a 1st down at 4th down last week. They've got it here. They convert on the pass to Jerry and James, reaching the Brigade 16-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10.
Good job by James of finding that 1st down marker, getting to the stick, being on the same page as Joe Hamilton. Pred fans on their feet here in the jungle.
They've sold nearly 11,000 season tickets for this season. It's been an unprecedented build up to this season in terms of sales, sponsorships, ticket sales, you name it. We should be very close to a sellout here tonight. Hamilton on the deep drop, has plenty of time. Rubin there, and a great recovery by Denario Smalls to break it up.
Denario Smalls does an excellent job of recovering, keeping his head down and running at the last second, going up and plucking. Here's the route. Rubin again in the high motion. Coming off of that break, you see him run and then go up at the last second, pluck it out of there, high point that football. Good defensive play.
That's an example there, Batesy, where as we look at George O'Leary, who coached Joe Hamilton at Georgia Tech, and of course an outstanding season as the head man at the University of Central Florida, UCF this year. They dump it off to Moya Moore, and he is tackled immediately by Chad McGee's at the line of scrimmage. 3rd down coming up.
I think I would have given my vote for Coach of the Year to that man right there, George O'Leary. To think of what he did to take a program that had the nation's longest losing streak and to turn them around like he did. And they won games that they were in late that they had to fight back and claw back. And a team that typically in that situation would just hold the tent, he got those guys to play. Very impressive job for the Golden Knights.
That pass deflected by Pointer, and it drops incomplete. Coleman nearly came up with the interception at the goal line, and now the Predators are looking at 4th down and 10 from the 16, and Jay Taylor comes on.
Coming right at you once again. Good protection for Joe Hamilton, and again, good recovery by those defensive backs. The defensive backs for the Brigade are playing here on this 2nd drive. So here comes the field goal, and he's got a good one now this year. Jay Gruden does it. It was a good week for Taylor.
Taylor was the AFL Kicker of the Year in 2004, left to go to the NFL with the Tampa Bay Bucks, then was released. Now he's back in Orlando, and his perfect season continues. Taylor 2 for 2 in the season from field goal range, a 32-yard connection there. And Orlando has taken the lead once again, 10-7 with 24.6 remaining in the opening quarter. To kick off, let's bring in Terry Norvel downstairs.
Okay, guys, with co-owner of the Kansas City Brigade, Neil Smith, 13-year NFL veteran, 2-time Super Bowl champion. Neil, great start for your team. You get a touchdown, and you weren't too upset about giving up that field goal. Field goals get you beaten this week.
Absolutely, but you know, I was very proud that we can at least have one stop this series each quarter, and I think that was a huge stop for us. As you know, Kevin Porter was very excited about that. That's like a win for us. So if we can get this kickoff back down and score, we'll be in the header.
Quickly, I got to ask you, you weren't this excited when you played all those years. I mean, you've barely sat down since this game started.
I'm excited about it, man. This is fun. You know, it's up front. You know, you want your guys to go out and compete, and right now they're doing just that.
Guys, he's got 2 Super Bowl rings, and I bet you he was never more excited than he is tonight with his team playing. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Terry. James, you think Neil's excited also? He's watching these big guys catching passes out there. He'd like to get out there.
You got that right. It is something to get excited about when you get a stop in this league. Yep. Kevin Porter, he's a defensive guy, was the defensive coordinator there in New Orleans for Mike New. But the game is, it's like a ping pong game. It's so back and forth, the high scoring. If you can get a turnover or a stop, a defensive stop, and hold them to a field goal, it's huge, huge. Neil knows that. Kevin Porter knows that. Jay Gruden knows that, that's for sure.
He sure does. He's happy to have Jay Taylor back as his kicker as he is set to kick off. And Steve Smith in the game. And the kick rockets off the bottom bar. It comes right out to Jacquez Rump. Boy, that up back's got to be very alert, and Rump was all of that to make the grab and prevent Orlando from getting what would have been a free ball.
Great job by Rump. Good reaction to bring it down. And how about Jay Taylor? Not only has he been perfect on field goals and extra points this season, but both kickoffs tonight have hit the iron. If you can hit that net as it gets closer to the iron where it's tighter, or you can hit the iron itself, well, there you see what happens. More times than not, you're going to get the ball back in your hands. And that's huge on special teams for your guys.
Well, the clock runs out in the first quarter of play here from Orlando at Hummer Field at the TD Waterhouse Center. And the Predators have a lead of 10-7 over the Kansas City Brigade.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
I'm thinking of a number between 450 and 850. Do you know what it is? It's my credit score, and it happens to be 720. The higher my credit score, the better chance I have of saving a lot of money. Do you know your credit score? Do you know what's in your credit report? You can find out right now at freecreditreport.com. You can even print it out if you want to. How much easier could it get? Log on to freecreditreport.com. That's freecreditreport.com.
Free credit report offer applies with enrollment in Triple Advantage.
Hi, I'm Larry Woodward. Make sure you join Bob Richardson and myself for the Bass Pro Shops Hunting and Fishing Report, seen at 10 p.m. every Thursday night during the Midwest Sports Report, right here on Fox Sports.
Dan McLaughlin for Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill with Hall of Famer Bernie Federico.
Dan, Hot Shots has been the sports bar of choice for over 12 years for Blues fans. The longest happy hour in St. Louis, great food and drink specials, and a fantastic atmosphere. Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill.
Big 12 basketball hits the hardwood on FSN. Quinn Snyder's Tigers are ready to shake off a rough stretch when they head to Texas to take on the Bears. Missouri, Baylor on FSN Midwest.
It's the Wrangler Pro Rodeo Tour. Week in and week out, the world's toughest cowboys battle for their share of a purse totaling $9 million.
The Wrangler Pro Rodeo Tour, Saturday on FSN Midwest.
Arena Football is brought to you by ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader. By Health South, getting you back to work, to play, to living. And by Aaron's. Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership. Nobody beats Aaron's. Nobody. Along with James Bates and Terry Norvel, Rick Peckham with you tonight from the TD Waterhouse Center, Hummer Field here in Orlando, where the Predators have a 10-7 lead over Andy Kelly and the Kansas City Brigade. It's Brigade football from their 6.
Former Tennessee Vol right there. Played for the Vols and played 13 seasons. This is his 13th season in the Arena Football League, and just recently the top 20 of all time was released, and a lot of people wondering why that guy wasn't on there. Kurt Warner was on there, who has done a lot of things in the NFL, but Andy Kelly holds a lot of records and has done a lot of things, won a lot of football games inside.
Pretty good night already for Kelly, who is the all-time leader in completed passes, passes attempted. This is his 138th start. That's a league record. As he has got Jacquez Rumpf in motion. Kelly looks for him long. He's open again. This time he's got him. Rumpf scores. Well, the second time is the charm for Rumpf and the Brigade, and they take the lead at 13-10. 44 yards on the connection.
Yeah, Andy Kelly's not going to miss that easy one twice. Had a shot earlier, went over the hands, and this time hits Rumpf in stride. And again, a miscommunication between those defensive backs. Lynn J. Shell, who's been an outstanding offensive player and was in camp with the Philadelphia Eagles last year, missed the season. There at the corner spot and let him go. Thought he had a deep guy to help.
Now the kick by Tim Cedar is perfect. And in the first play of the second quarter, 44 yards covered on the pass from Kelly to Jacquez Rumpf. And it's Kansas City in front, 14-10.
Official athletic retailer of the Arena Football League. Champ Sports, where sport lives.
Arena Football, demonstrated by Kurt Warner and John Elway. Arena quarterbacks pass almost every play. Score so high you'll need oxygen. Running for the sidelines? What sidelines? Offense also plays defense. Oh, one more thing. The field, only 50 yards long.
The Arena Football League, Season 20. Now playing at an arena, television, or computer near you.
Thank you for calling ADT Security Services.
I just wanted you to know that security system saved me twice.
You all have given me peace of mind.
I tell everybody I see, get an ADT security system.
Like these customers and millions more, you'll feel more secure with ADT in your home. ADT can help protect your family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save up to $200 on an ADT protection package. You may even save up to 20% off your homeowner's insurance. ADT, always there.
Back and forth we go, early second quarter. KC by 4, and we want to tell you about a chance to win a trip to Las Vegas for Arena Bowl 20 and a shot at $1 million. For more details and to register, log on to arenafootball.com.
Hey, Rick, if you don't win that, I got this blackjack system. We can go to Vegas. Hey, let's look at this touchdown play. Okay, here you got, over here, here's Lynn J. Shell, and he's manned up on Rumpf, the touchdown play. Well, Shell, he doesn't have anybody back here deep to help. It's all about finding the mismatches as we run it. In high motion is Rumpf. It's hard enough to cover him as it is. You think Andy Kelly's licking his chops there as they line up to throw that ball? Lynn J. Shell, an offensive guy, trying to cover man-to-man with the guy coming from high motion. No help deep. Easy touchdown. Big play for the Brigade. How about this, huh? I'm fired up for the Kansas City football fans. They get their first home game next week here to be able to watch these guys swinging around.
Boy, season tickets have been selling briskly there, over 8,000. And here's Jerry and James for the Predators, and the kicker, Tim Cedar, rocks him with a hit near the Orlando bench across midfield. An excellent return for Jerry and James, but after 2 games on the road, the Brigade will finally be home a week from Sunday the 12th for a 1 p.m. start against the Austin Wranglers, and Kemper Arena should be rocking for that one.
He's not a cedar, he's an oak. He knocked him out of bounds like a big oak tree. But this game, it's fun to watch. It's a blast to watch on television, but to be there in person, and Kansas City's a football town. They love their football.
No question.
They're going to get a chance to see this right in their face, keeping the balls when they go in the stands, autographs after, all kinds of fun like this.
Hamilton's got Frizzell open for the touchdown. 24 yards. Hamilton to Frizzell. Joe with his second score through the air tonight.
Well, high motion again. Here goes Frizzell. Wow. Little post corner route. You know, in arena football, they'll run the pogo route, which is a choice of a post or a corner. The quarterback and receiver have to be on the same page. That time he gives them the inside stick and then breaks it off to the corner. Nice route and a nice throw by Hamilton.
Taylor tacks on the extra point, and Orlando retakes the lead. Boy, these teams scoring quickly on the first play of this drive. It's Jimmy Frizzell in the end zone. 17-14 Predators.
Given the success of the EMO's focus groups, I still thought it prudent to move forward with a double-blind taste test to gauge consumers' true reaction to the original St. Louis-style pizza on a thicker crust.
You still like it?
Yeah.
We still like it.
Oh, that's not...
Remember, at Emo's, you can always choose original thin crust pizza or thicker crust. This month, an extra large 2-topping pizza is just $14.95. Emo's, the square beyond compare.
Next?
I'd like to cash a check for $22.
No. No, look, I'll cooperate. I'll do anything you want.
No, I just want to cash a check.
Look, I've got kids.
Just take it easy.
Fox College Sports has the recipe for the ultimate college reunion. Start with over 800 live NCAA events. Add your favorite conferences, like the Pac-10, Big 12, and more. Toss in news from around the NCAA. Unbelievable! And garnish with the hottest coaches shows. This is the place where college never ends. To order Fox College Sports, call 1-877-2GET-FCS.
Orlando back in front, pleasing the home crowd, and let's say hello once again to Terry Norvel downstairs.
Okay, guys, how appropriate. I've slowed down UCF head football coach George O'Leary the moment a former UCFer catches a touchdown pass. What a neat night.
It really was. Jimmy Frizzell made a heck of a catch, and thrown by Joe Hamilton, who I had Georgia Tech, so that's a great pairing right now.
You were telling me quickly, pretty good recruiting year for UCF. You got what you're looking for?
We really filled our needs, but, you know, I'll let you know after next year. I have a little bit of that decision, but we got size and got speed. Now we just got to coach them up.
Great turnaround, disappointing bowl game. You must be really excited for next year with UCF football.
Well, we disappointed in the bowl game, you know, but well-fought game, a great TV rating game, but you got to win the bowl games, and looking forward to next season.
Thank you very much, Coach. We appreciate it. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Terry. And Joe Hamilton, who has thrown a couple of touchdown passes and off to a big start, 10 of 12 on the night. And that's just what Jay Gruden was looking for out of him. Taylor's kick, and it's into the slack net. Smith having problems with it, and it's ruled a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Brigade from the 5. James, I'm sure you remember, last year we worked a lot with Mike Black, who's in the television business. He's also the all-time leading scorer among kickers in Arena Football League history. We were talking about the science of the kickoff, and he was saying, well, you aim down the middle because there's more metal there. Of course, the bounce off the unpredictable iron really has a lot to do with it. There's a lot of touch involved in those kickoffs.
Oh, absolutely. And these guys may not, the kickers may not be able to practice indoors, but I went to a Tampa Bay Storm practice last week. We'll let this play go here.
Steve Smith, his first grab of the night, wrestled down to the 14.
And the Tampa Bay Storm was practicing in the parking lot there of the Ice Palace, or the St. Pete Times Forum. And Bill Gramatica was kicking at a crack on the wall on the side of the arena. I swear, he said, and you know, if I hit it close, it'll bounce right back to me. But he was trying to hit a crack right down the middle of it that ran all the way up to the ceiling.
9-yard gain on 1st down for Kelly and company. 2nd and a yard. The toss to DeJuan Moss, the former Michigan State fullback, and he's still going. Finally brought down to the turf at the Orlando 20-yard line. On the tackle over there was the glove, Kenny McIntyre, and a gain of 17. And an injured Abdul Salam Noah will be attended to back in the KC backfield.
DeJuan Moss just showed you how to run the football in this league. We saw Moya Moore earlier take it, standing straight up, going in there, and he got stuck. Well, delivering the blows was DeJuan Moss. Watch him run this football. It's not about speed in this league. It's about power. It's about running through these tackles and keeping those legs churning, because you're not going to beat anybody to the wall. It's too small of a field, and no matter how fast you are, it's hard to get out there and get that corner turn. It's not a big run league, obviously. It's an element of surprise. You got to keep them in there. But DeJuan Moss showing you how it's done right there. And there are two pretty good runners on the other side of the ball, Price and Moya Moore. He's averaging 14, had 14 last week.
Well, Noah, I think, had his bell rung at the tail end of that as Moss was turning the corner. You could see Scott Cloman of Orlando catch Noah in the head with his knee. And Moss, of course, as we mentioned, a former tailback and fullback at Michigan State. And is the case with a lot of these two-way positions, it's generally a defensive guy who's turned into an offensive player. Not the case with Moss, who's really going to give KC an edge. Well, a perfect example of that is Bam Morris, the old Pittsburgh Steeler, who was here in camp with the Predators. He had a little bit of trouble during training camp tackling. Hard for those offensive guys to go tackle. Spears had the ball ripped out of his hands by Jared Johnson, number 25. And it will be second down and 10 for KC from the Orlando 20. Tim Markham, of course, a legendary coach of the Tampa Bay Storm, winningest coach in the history of this league, talking to him about that philosophy. He says, well, you need some offensively based guys, but it's generally easier to teach defensive guys how to play offense than it is to teach offensive guys to be superior defensive players. Kelly with a pass well out of the reach of Terrell Myers, well covered there by Lynn J. Shell, and Kelly will confer with Trez Sullivan here on a 3rd and 10 play. Good coverage that time by all the defensive secondary. Lynn J. Shell. They beat him earlier. This time he was on his man, and there's the glove. You can usually count on him to be on his man. Kenny McIntyre's a bit of a guesser, though. You can beat him every now and then, but most of the time he's going to get you. He's been big for Jay Gruden over the years. And it was Jay Gruden and Kenny McIntyre who got Kevin Porter into the game. Yep. Good friends. We'll tell you more about that later. Smith is in motion. Kelly looking for him, now throws underneath the spear, still at his feet, diving ahead to the 11. He tried to stretch the ball. They ruled that he was downed as he lost the ball, but they ruled that he was down at the 11-yard line. He's still going to be a yard short of a first down, and 4th down coming up. Gerard Johnson again, one more time. This is the 3rd time tonight he's come up and put a lick on a receiver, but he hasn't wrapped up. It's a good hit, but you got to wrap up those hands. He gets 3 more yards after it. Ball popping out there at the end. But Gerard's got to learn to bring those guys down to the turf. You can't give them those yards after the initial lick. Now, Trez Sullivan, the offensive coordinator of the Brigade, signals for a timeout with 9:38 to go.
30-second timeout. First charge to this half.
Second quarter, and that's another change, as all timeouts are 30 seconds. You can ask for a longer one. We're going to step aside here with Kansas City trying to retake the lead. They're deep in Orlando territory.
It's a condition that affects millions each year.
Honey?
It's called post-Super Bowl stress disorder, or PIST. Symptoms may include depression, excitability, and an inability to deal with life without football.
What?
But there is a cure.
For 20 seasons, the Arena Football League has brought football fans back to life. So don't let this happen to you. The Arena Football League Season 20, now playing at an Arena television or computer near you.
Hey, what's up?
EA Sports, Arena Football, rated E10 for ages 10 and up. EA Sports, it's in the game.
Welcome back to Las Vegas and the Arena Football Celebrity Table. Coach Ditka has the hand to beat.
Ooh.
Let's see how poker champ Phil Hellmuth plays it.
I'm all in.
Bluffing, Coach?
Pocket Kings, go Kings!
I fold. Thanks, ladies.
Don't you girls have a game to go to?
Well, Coach, this June, the AFL's championship game, Arena Bowl 20, is playing Vegas. Don't miss the party. For tickets, call 1-866-AFL-TICKS.
Predators fans modeling the latest in headgear. A little tough to enjoy a beverage with that on, though. Look at her.
It's easy to open up the can for your buddy.
That's right. Let's check out a key matchup tonight here between these clubs as we look at individual performances.
It was Ruben that got the scoring started here in the jungle, and it's been Jordan on both sides of the ball. You see the two tackles right there. He had the big touchdown catch, first in the end zone for the Brigade, but I like watching that man wearing the number 4. He's been all over this football field in the Iron Man style we've come to love here in arena football.
Casey, you were starting to talk about how Kevin Porter got his coaching start here with Orlando in 1999.
Well, he came here with Jay Gruden because of Kenny McIntyre. They needed a defensive back coach, and he recruited him to come on board, and Kevin Porter thinks the world of Jay Gruden. He's great friends with the glove. He thinks the world of Jay Gruden, thinks a lot of Mike New, and Mike New thinks a lot of him. Defensive coordinator for Mike New over in New Orleans. Last year, he was a very successful coach in AF2 there in Macon, and he brought a lot of these guys that are on this team. If they're not coming over with him from New Orleans, they've come up from the AF2 in Macon, and a lot of them have made big plays for him so far in this young season.
Yeah, KC was, of course, scheduled to get a franchise in 2007, but because of the catastrophe around the New Orleans area with Hurricane Katrina, that was moved up. 14 former New Orleans Voodoo players were in camp with Kansas City. And Porter had played in the World League with Kenny McIntyre. They were teammates, and this McIntyre at that time cemented in that Predator backfield, brought him on board, and here's the pass to Jarrell Myers for the touchdown. And the Brigade do take the lead on an 11-yard score. Myers catching 2 TDs last week, his first of the night here.
There's a good example of that POCO. The quarterback and the receiver got to be on the same page, knowing where you got that defensive back playing you. And once again, it's Lynn J. Shell. Boy, are they ever picking on him. There you see the middle of the screen there. And Lynn J. Shell, you standing there flat-footed, and you got a guy coming out of his break. They're going to win that battle every time. That's good play offensively for the Brigade.
Nice snap. Sanders handles it well, and the kick is good by Cedar, and Kansas City is back in front. Neil Smith, co-owner of the Brigade, happy with that earlier defensive stop that produced a field goal, and that difference keeps cropping up here as Kansas City is back in front by 4 points now, 21-17 as we look at Jarrell Myers. Quite a star at LSU.
Here's Lynn J. Shell. He's running over, following him in motion. And here's Myers from the LSU receiver. He was a stud in college. Now watch, you're full speed. Boom, hold it right there. Hold it, back it up for me if you can. Can we back it up? 2 steps, keep going, keep going. Now here's the POCO. They're gonna go off this defensive back, and he's gonna either break the route here or break it here. And it's a play that they've run so many times that the quarterbacks in this league, they know it as well as they know the dive, just handing that ball off. Here's a look at that route coming full speed as he hits that line, and boom, just breaks it off, and it's almost impossible to cover when you're there on an island, especially if you're an offensive guy.
See the scoring drive for the Brigade. 21-17 they lead with just under 9 minutes to go before halftime. Cedar set to kick. Jerry and James, who had an outstanding return across midfield in his last opportunity. Cedar with a line drive. A little easier to handle off those side nets. James breaks a tackle, gets to the 8-yard line. Rumph thought he had him, but Travis Coleman finished him off.
And you talked about earlier about, as we take a look at Joe Hamilton's numbers, and Jay Gruden wasn't very happy with him last week, and he let him know it, and I'll bet you he's letting him know how happy he is with his performance so far this week. Joe Hamilton has stepped back up. Jay said he's a guy that doesn't point fingers. He takes it all on himself, and this has been a tough week of practice for him, and he's wanted this night so bad to get out here and redeem himself. He's done a good job so far. In front of his old coach, George O'Leary.
Andrew Rubin in motion. Hamilton looks backside to Frizzell, and he is wrestled down by Calvin Spears at the 14-yard line. As he'll pick up 6 yards, it'll be 2nd down and 4. Hamilton in his third year as the quarterback here in Orlando. He set a league record for completion percentage as a rookie at 66%. And battled some injury, shoulder injury primarily last year, that limited his effectiveness at times. And now getting used to some new receivers. Although Jimmy Frizzell, well known to Joe Hamilton, he makes that grab for a first down out to the 21, where the tackle is made by Denario Smalls and Chris Pointer.
Well, here's the quick three-step, and it's hard to get in the quarterback's face there, but all through the night, this offensive line has done a great job of protecting Joe Hamilton. He hasn't taken many shots, so he won't have to worry about that shoulder as much. Not as many as he took against Georgia in that last game of the season last year. He was beat up a little bit, but all night long, those guys up front have been taking care of their man, Joe Hamilton.
Here's the handoff to Rubin, and Rubin reaches the 14-yard line of Kansas City. On a big run there of 15 yards and a first down. Orlando threatening to take the lead once again.
And as an offensive lineman, you like to pass block, but you love to run block. So when you get an opportunity in this league, and watch Moya Moore right here sealing the wall, doing a good job of leading the charge. Basically a lead play as if you had a fullback and a tailback lined up behind him, but you got to create ways to get that look here inside in arena football, and a good job blocking by that O-line and by the fullback, Moya Moore.
So the numbers against Georgia in Rubin's AFL debut. And Rubin on the receiving end here. He's knocked it out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. DeAndre Rubin, who almost reached 4,000 all-purpose yards as a member of the USF Bulls in his college career, former Green Bay Packer draft pick. And he's got another first down for the Predators inside the 3.
Down the field, you take a look at some of those guys up front. We've been bragging on them. There's Rubin behind. You got Henry Taylor and big Greg Krause. Justin Cleveland's been big for this offensive line.
The toss to Marlon Moya Moore, and he is stopped short of the goal line. Byron Dozart, number 45 in there. James Jordan with the initial hit, and he has been solid, as we pointed out, on both sides of the football.
Jordan stepping over there, and Dozart, who was one of those guys that played in Macon for Coach Porter, doing an excellent job of coming over there. You got to tackle him high on the goal line, too. A guy like Moya Moore, he's big and strong. You go down and try to tackle those legs, and he's just going to lean forward and reach it over. Beat him headgear to headgear.
Moya Moore digging for the goal line, and the whistle blows. He's going to be marked short. It'll be 3rd and goal for Orlando. Well stacked up in there, Calvin Spears from the secondary involved, and good penetration from the defensive line.
What you can do too is you get more and more into the tendencies of teams, and this guy right here, Jay Gruden, is the king of it. Is you're not allowed to blitz in this league, but you can almost come on a blitz down near the goal line like this, especially on the early downs. You just gamble a little bit, because if it's a run, it's not blitzing technically. Whoa!
Hamilton on the handoff. Moya Moore might have lost the football as the officials are in there digging to see who's got it. On a 3rd and goal from inside the 1, and Kansas City signals they've got it. The officials agree. Marlon Moya Moore loses the football near the goal line, and the crowd here at TD Waterhouse Center not happy with that development.
Didn't mean to kill your ears there, partner, and everybody at home,
You're
but I got
excited.
pretty fired up there. Fired up for that Brigade defense. That's a huge stand. Kevin Porter came off his seat. He's cheering hard. Let's watch it. And once again, you know, the ball, it was on the snap, but still, Moya Moore, that's 3 plays in a row. The ball's gone in his hands, and 3 plays in a row. There's no sense of urgency. I haven't seen him run like we saw him run so many times last year, and like Price has run so many times last year. He's running tall. He needs to get those pads down and go through there with a purpose.
His rookie year, Moya Moore was nearly unstoppable, but he's had serious knee and ankle injuries. Here's Kelly as the Brigade take over. The pass deflected. Myers couldn't find it. It fell incomplete. Jared Johnson closed quickly, and on the collision knocked the ball loose, as that ball was just a little behind Myers.
Behind Myers, but watch this. It looks to be right in the hands of Jared Johnson. A good job by Myers of coming back and stripping the ball, almost turning into the defensive back there, Rick. Taking away the interception, but a good break on the ball.
Now Kansas City holding Orlando to a field goal earlier, taking over in a turnover here. And the lob for Myers, and he made sure that that wasn't going to be picked off by the Predators. And 3rd down and 10 coming up off that jump ball.
Thought Johnson may have gone up a tad early. They're letting him play a little bit there in that defensive secondary. See, he's got that arm around him. His left hand came around early, but it was both actually.
He got him and got away with it.
Well, the Georgia Force got away with one against Frizzell late in the game last week that resulted in an interception return for a touchdown. There's a big one.
Got it. Looking underneath across the middle, and Johnson on the coverage there. A Jacquez Rump incomplete. What a series for Jared Johnson, acquired from the Chicago Rush before this season began.
It's all about these matchups, and right now they're seeing something. They're trying to pick on Jared Johnson. It was Shell earlier, and that's the way to play defensive back. You got that backhand wrapped around, so if you do miss it with the rake, you at least secure the tackle, and then you come ripping through with that arm. That's an excellent job. No punts in this league, remember.
65-yard field goal attempt, and it hit the scoreboard, the speakers below the scoreboard, and the play is dead. And we're going to step aside, and it will be Orlando football. The ball will be marked at the Predator 20-yard line as a result of that kick hitting the overhead structure.
Official athletic retailer of the Arena Football League. Champ Sports, where sport lives.
Here in Vegas, the action's heating up at the Arena Football Celebrity Table.
Let's go, Coach. Hey, pipe down, poker brat. I bet 100. Make it 300.
He cannot do that.
Illegal procedure, Ditka.
What'd I do?
Personal foul, Ditka.
What are you talking about?
You're out of here.
You're not.
This June, the AFL's championship game, Arena Bowl 20, is playing Vegas. Don't miss the party. For tickets, call 1-866-AFL-TICKS.
Go! Wait!
I'll get you out of here. Security.
The 20th season of Arena Football League action well underway. We're in week 2. Hope you're enjoying our coverage tonight here, whether you're looking in on Sun Sports or FSN Midwest, as Kansas City has the lead over Orlando 21-17, but Orlando gets the ball as a result of this play.
Folks in Kansas City, here's something you have to look forward to. All kinds of craziness in this Arena Football. Field goal attempts hitting the scoreboard. He spotted at the 20, and you know, a lot of our Orlando fans, they know the game. But you got to point out, if you think about it, a lot of those Kansas City fans that next week are going to get to see all the sights and sounds, you know, and hear the sounds here in their arena for the first time a home game. They're kind of learning and new to this game. There are no punts in this league, you know, so you got to try for that field goal or try to go get the first down. If the field goal is missed, it's returnable. You take it off the nets or you receive it. It doesn't make it.
Now that overhead structure is supposed to be at least 50 feet above the field. Tim Cedar had to be saying to himself, boy, Texas Stadium, they didn't have any scoreboards hanging. Here's Hamilton, avoids the rush, throws on the move. Rubin's open, he's got it! And he's bumped out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
You know why they have that hole in Texas Stadium, don't you, Rick?
Why is that?
So God can watch the Cowboys play. Here's the route. Rubin had the big touchdown to start it off. Little post corner. A little bit too much cushion there for Rump. Want to make sure you keep them in front, but you don't want to give up that big play. You keep them in front, and then you get down tight and you let them try to punch it in there. But you go for that big one, you got to cover them a little bit tighter.
29-yard connection there. The handoff goes to Idris Price. He's trying to find the goal line, and the Brigade will not budge. Excellent stand by the Brigade earlier, ending up with a ball and a turnover, and now they have held the Predators out of the end zone again.
Big Michael Landry and that defensive line in there. They're firing off the ball. They're getting under the pads of that offensive line. And then you've got linebackers in the back like James Jordan and like Dozart that are coming through there with some fire and some intensity. That's 4 plays now in a row against these backs. They've been in there in the red zone. They haven't been able to punch it in.
Kansas City only allowed 12 yards on the ground to the Dallas Desperados last week. And they're trying to hold off the Predators here with a score 21-17, Kansas City in the lead.
Arena football, demonstrated by Kurt Warner and John Elway. Arena quarterbacks pass almost every play. Score so high you'll need oxygen. Running for the sidelines? What sidelines? Offense also plays defense. Oh, one more thing. The field, only 50 yards long.
The Arena Football League, Season 20. Now playing at an arena, television, or computer near you.
Hey, what's up?
EA Sports, Arena Football. Rated E10 for ages 10 and up. EA Sports, it's in the game.
Come into any Aaron Sales and Lease ownership store and you'll find brand new, brand name furniture, electronics, appliances, and computers. Always at the guaranteed lowest price, whether you buy or lease to own, and no credit checks. So, do the math. Nobody beats Aaron's.
Do the math.
Nobody
beats Aaron's.
Here we are at the 1-minute warning before halftime with Kansas City leading, and here's what's coming up on the halftime lineup. We'll have a look at the AFL's all-time top 20 players. We'll listen in to Lucas Yarnell, mic'd up. Here's some sounds of the game, highlights and stats, and here's a sample of Lucas at the microphone.
Here we go now. That's a good stop on D. Now let's go make it count. That's the way to fill the hole for it. And we only got to tell you one time, huh? That's all it takes. One time. That's the way to step up right there.
Is that how you started your broadcast career, Batesy, in the huddle with the Florida Gators? Or?
No, not quite. But you know, like Lucas Yarnell, I had a chance to go over to the movie side of things.
There you go.
Do some stuff. Like he went with Pat O'Hara, who is a quarterback / coach for the Tampa Bay Storm, and Pat now heads up all these football movies, and recruited Yarnell to go over there and help him out. Another big stop by that Brigade front, defensive front. Oh my goodness.
Well, Jay Gruden, he started with Marlon Moya Moore, went to his other fullback, and Idris Price, now going to Jerry and James, who can't find pay dirt. And the clock is stopped with 51.4 seconds remaining here before halftime, and the ball still about 1.5 feet from the goal line.
Make that 5 run plays in a row, and 5 big stuffs by that defense. You saw the look on Jay Gruden's face. He can't figure it out because these Orlando Predators, year in, year out, are up there at the tops as far as rushing goes. That's got to be frustrating when your team, 5 tries, can't scrap and dig down deep enough to get it 1 yard. It's tough to pass in this league. When you get down there on the 1, that field is small. It's not easy to throw it. Put it in Joe's hand.
Hamilton dives in for the touchdown. Well, Hamilton, one of the all-time franchise leaders in touchdowns, and scores himself to give Orlando the lead.
Idris Price out there with a big block that springs it. That was Dozart who was coming over, and he sealed it for him. Finding that corner of the end zone was Big Joe Hamilton. That was big for this team before halftime to get it in there and get the touchdown.
47.8 seconds remaining before the half. Taylor with the kick, and it's good. Well, the Predators have had to work to get in front, but it pays off finally with Hamilton bringing it in. And Jay Gruden's men leading 24-21 with still plenty of time. Obviously, KC's going to get a possession here, Batesy, but for the fans of Kansas City who maybe have not seen much arena football, we could easily have 2 possessions here before the half.
And you see the folder, the manila folder in the hand of Jay Gruden. We saw him in the locker room before the game. That thing was nice and neat and clean. He was drawing it up. It's been wrinkled and thrown. He's a little bit frustrated as he talks with his guys. There's Ruben. There's a smile out of Jay.
Well, as you point out to Batesy, year after year, they're up near the top in rushing yardage, second in the league last year, and in their 15-year history, they have been 6th or better in all but 2 years. So that has been a staple of the Orlando offense for many, many years.
Second in the league just last season.
And so Taylor will kick off. And it's Steve Smith who is back deep. The product of Utah State and the league leader last season with the Philadelphia Soul in all-purpose yards. And this one off the upright into the soft net, and it's been blown dead. That's interesting that they would blow that dead because Smith was able to grab it and take off down the sidelines, but Riley Johnson indicates it'll be 1st and 10 from the 5 for Kansas City.
Why would they blow that dead? I can't think of any reason why they blow that dead. That's, as a kicker, you hit that soft net and you buy your guys some time to get down there.
Well, 47.8 seconds before the half. And it's Jacquez Rump late in joining the offense. We'll get some quick instructions from Andy Kelly. He's got his arms outstretched looking at Trez Sullivan, the offensive coordinator. What am I doing here? Kelly looks away from him. Jordan's wide open down the sidelines, and James Jordan fights his way to the 14-yard line before McIntyre finally brings him down. 31 yards covered on that play.
Mack looks to have underneath coverage. He lets him go on to the deep man.
Clock running.
Again, not there is Gerard Johnson, and Kelly finds that window. And
now KC has 1 timeout left, and you do not want to leave too much time on the clock for the other team if you're in this situation offensively. Kelly throws, he's got fires, he has belted on the hit by Johnson at the 10-yard line, and they will stop the clock here with 14.2 to play. It'll be 2nd down from the Predator 9.
Wow, that's pretty. Uh-huh.
Pretty to a linebacker, huh?
Let's just let this one go. Coming out of that break and bringing the load. The guy who comes out of breaks the best in arena football is one of the best cover guys in arena football. It's the man right next to Johnson. The glove, Kenny McIntyre, does such a great job of coming out of the break. He does a good job learning from McIntyre, coming out of that break, but also just bringing that headgear and putting it right on Meyer.
Teams have a choice of extending the timeout beyond 30 seconds if they would like. That's the final timeout for the Brigade, as you saw here in this first half. 2nd down. And 5 to go from the Orlando 9. Kelly knows his team will have the ball to start the 2nd half. He wants to go into the dressing room with a score in his pocket. He doesn't have an open receiver, and thus he'll fire that ball in the seats, and a souvenir for that Predator fan. 6.3 to play.
Kelly wants more time put on the clock, and just as the offensive line for the Predators have done a great job, this offensive line for the Brigade has done an excellent job too, protecting for Andy Kelly. That time, as we told you, you get down in that red zone.
Thank you.
And in this game of arena football, this field gets so small, and especially here in the jungle, in the TD Waterhouse Center, this place wasn't built for arena football, and the corners are cut off, so it's even smaller area down there.
Watch the clock. It doesn't stop when the ball goes into the stands. I think they're waiting for the fan to come up with a grab before they stop the clock. They're going to put time back on the clock.
They really should put about another second and a half
8.2
on top of that.
What we'll have here from the 9, 3rd down and 5. It's KC with their eye on bigger things than just getting a first down here. Kelly fires deep in the end zone. It's off the boards. It's intercepted by Jared Johnson. That's a live ball off the end boards, and he's tackled for a touchback in the end zone, and that's going to do it for the half. So a stop for the Predators on the final possession of the half. Jared Johnson, what a second quarter he had, and Andy Kelly's got to come up with something. As Johnson victimized early in this ball game, but certainly he has bounced back, and the teams head to the dressing rooms here at halftime with Orlando leading 24-21 as we join Terry downstairs.
Okay, guys, I'm with Jay Gruden, Predators head coach. Boy, your defense came up and saved the offense a little bit late in that half.
Yeah, we got to work on our goal line running game. They're doing a great job. You know, James Jordan is a big guy. He's like a linebacker in there, and they're filling the gaps good. And not a lot of room to throw the ball inside of 5, so we got to do a better job of coming up better plays inside of 5. But overall, we got the lead at halftime. They got the ball, so it should be an interesting second half.
Your big running backs really struggled down at the 1-yard line. Finally, you turned to Joe Hamilton. Did he talk you into that call, or was that your call?
Well, it was our call together. You know, when we let the fullback lead block, we get another blocker in there. You know,
Thank you, Coach.
So that helps.
Appreciate it. There you go, guys. Back up top.
Thanks very much, Terry. Stay with us. We've got a lot coming your way here at halftime, where the fireworks have just started here at Cumberland Field at the TD Waterhouse Center as Orlando leads Kansas City 24-21.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
The Arena Football League presents the 20 Greatest Highlights Countdown. Number 19. Orlando fans were feeling confident as their Predators led the LA Avengers 63-58. But the mood in Orlando suddenly changed after this onside kick. LA recovered the ball with 14 seconds on the clock, leaving Avengers quarterback Tony Graziani with a chance to pull off a miracle finish.
Down by 5. Dance has got to get rid of it. Throws it for the end zone. Could be the last play of the game. Caught! Touchdown! The Avengers win the game! Greg Hopkins catches it off the net. Unbelievable. In the Arena Football League, you can do that.
Graziani threw for 319 yards and 6 TDs, including this incredible last-second fling off the net. Tune in again next week as the AFL's 20 Greatest Highlights Countdown continues.
Orlando has a lead of 24-21 here at halftime. Glad you've joined us tonight here as quite a tussle between these two Southern Division rivals. And as we've told you, the Arena Football League, 20 years old, and they have picked the 20 greatest Arena Football League players throughout the league history. These are 3 who have played for the Predators. Barry Wagner, no one better than him. Jay Gruden, obviously, as a quarterback and as a coach. Corey Fleming was here for some productive years. Now he's back in Nashville, James.
The big fella out there in Nashville, they miss him. And well, Jay Gruden was a little bit upset that Barry Wagner wasn't voted the very best player in AFL history. That went to touchdown Eddie Brown by 1 vote. And there's Eddie Brown at the top. And LaFrance, he's been a big one for the Tampa Bay Storm and way back in the day with the Detroit Drive. A lot of old school guys on there, a lot of drive guys on there.
A lot of guys. James Barron, of course, still active in the league, but most of those guys in recent years, Sylvester Bembry and so forth, as we look at the second 20. Now, Aaron Garcia, he's the all-time leader in touchdown passes, but he's playing tonight actually for New York in Chicago. And Andy Kelly started this game only 7 TD throws behind him. You see Kurt Warner there. Sam Hernandez, the all-time sack leader by a wide margin. And Gary Mullen and John Corker, you go way back with that group.
John Corker, old Detroit Drive, back in the day for Tim Markham and company. That's some fun names.
We'll have Lucas Yarnell of the Brigade mic'd up when we come back.
Outside weapons. There he goes.
We all have our favorite teams. And with products and services from the new AT&T, you get more ways to feel like you're right in the middle of the action. With more plans, you get the flexibility to choose the bundle of services that's right for you. And with bundles starting at under $90 a month for local, long-distance, high-speed internet, and digital satellite TV, the savings really add up. Just imagine high-speed internet at a dial-up price, digital satellite TV, and local and long distance with proven reliability, all for under $90 a month, and all on one bill. Add Singular Wireless and save even more. The new AT&T gives you so many ways to get every basketball moment delivered. Go online for best prices or call today. The new AT&T, your world delivered.
This week on FSN's Pro Football Preview, our insiders get you up to speed on the playoff picture.
We're not worried about the division race. We just got to go win.
With up-to-the-minute breaking news.
I guarantee that I will not be stopped Sunday.
And expert analysis.
This team right now is shell-shocked.
Interviews that take you inside the locker room.
I got the whole package. I can do whatever.
The weekly preview show that can't be missed. FSN Pro Football Preview. Tonight on FSN.
Meatball on white. Next. You want mustard on that or not? Come on, I haven't got all day here. It doesn't come with peppers. They're extra. Hurry up, pay the lady. Next! Chicken's fresh, I killed it myself. So that's what you want? Next. While we're still young, you know you told me you wanted mustard. Get out of here. Time's up, back of the line.
Hey, excuse me.
What?
Great sandwich, thanks.
Compliments. Pass them on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back to the TD Waterhouse Center here in Orlando. And the Predators, thanks to a late touchdown and then a stop at the end of the half, have a 3-point lead. Rick Peckham, along with James Bates, Terry Norvel, glad you've joined us tonight. Here at halftime, Batesy, a lot to talk about. We're going to hear some sounds of the game, but it's been a pretty exciting first half.
It has been exciting. One thing that's got to be frustrating for Jay Gruden and those Predators, though, and you saw it as he talked to Terry right before he went in at halftime, is the lack of intensity in tackling, and when you get down on the goal line in the running game. On the other side of the ball, though, Kevin Porter's squad has come to play. They came charging down on those goal line stands, and offensively, guys like DeJuan Moss running and keeping those legs churning. They came to play, and they don't look like a franchise team. They're not so much a franchise team, but they don't look new at all. They're communicating and playing hard football.
Well, in our mic'd up segment, we're going to take you right in the trenches. Lucas Charnell, now in his 10th season in the Arena Football League, his 8th organization. He's been around, he knows this game, and he's going to teach us a lot about the action in the trenches here in Arena Football from this first half.
Who asked? Does someone have JYD? He's tired. He's tired. That's a nice job getting the ball. Nice job on the ball. One of the things we can do, and I don't know, is run like, if he's in the boundary, we can run like a lion look, but bring this in down tight and just bull rush right now, and then you run follow here, and you can't, he doesn't get down to the nose, so the backer or the nose, someone's coming free. You know what I'm saying? You can always be having fun in this game. Take it too serious, you'll pass you by. Here we go now. That's a good stop on D. Now let's go make it count. That's the way to fill the hole for it. And we only got to tell you one time, huh? That's all it takes. One time. That's the way to step up right there.
Now, Lucas Charnell, a product of Louisiana Lafayette, but a native of Topeka, Kansas. Maybe a coaching future for him as we saw him talking strategy.
I woke up in the middle of the night, terrified. Someone tried to come in my house. Fortunately, we had an ADT security system.
Mrs. Parker, this is ADT. We're receiving an alarm. Are you all right?
Yes, we're okay. I'm glad ADT was there, watching out for my family.
Don't take chances. Take control of your family's safety with ADT, America's #1 security company. Call now and save up to $200 on ADT protection packages. ADT, always there.
It's a condition that affects millions each year.
Honey?
It's called post-Super Bowl stress disorder, or PIST. Symptoms may include depression, excitability, and an inability to deal with life without football.
What?
But there is a cure. For 20 seasons, the Arena Football League has brought football fans back to life. So don't let this happen to you. The Arena Football League Season 20, now playing at an arena television or computer near you.
Oh, hey, honey.
Hey. So, what have you been up to?
Nothing. So what have you guys been up to?
Nothing.
Jay Taylor warming up for the second half. His field goal really the difference now, James, as we head toward the second half.
Well, Taylor's been doing a good job so far all season long in this game and a half, hitting his field goals and hitting that iron. And those two quarterbacks, they both came to play. Andy Kelly, he's been there before, but you know, it's been a little while since Joe Hamilton has put back on those pads after that Georgia Force game, and coach needed him to step up and play big tonight, and he had a big first half.
Now let's check out the big plays of the first half.
For Joe Hamilton, after getting the earful from Jay Gruden last night, comes out and finds number 3, DeAndrew Rubin, on a big pass there, and then the first score of the night finds him in the corner, that short corner here in the jungle. And you know, Frizzell was going to get in the mix before too long, making it easy for his quarterback, and that offensive line has made it easy for him too. Andy Kelly on the other side, finding the big body of his man, Big JJ, that's James Jordan. Then to Rump. And the last pass to Jarrell Myers. Andy Kelly, offensive lineman, they've been blocking hard for him. Offensive line's good, and the quarterbacks have been crisp in the first half.
Let's look at those QB numbers. Hamilton nearly perfect, as the yardage pretty similar. And Kelly, of course, had that interception on the last play of the first half.
Interception that went off the iron, which has always been legal here in arena ball, and pretty even as far as the numbers go with total yards and passing yards as well. There are the 2 turnovers for each team, and the 1 sack by the Brigade, and that front defensive line has been tough.
Kansas City will get the ball and a chance to retake the lead against Hamilton and company when we return in just a moment.
Hey, what's up?
EA Sports, Arena Football, rated E10 for ages 10 and up. EA Sports, it's in the game.
Here in Vegas, the action is heating up at the poker tables.
Come on, guys. Which game are we playing here? The Arena Bowl's down the street.
This June, the AFL's championship game, Arena Bowl 20, is playing Vegas. Don't miss the party. For tickets, call 1-866-AFL-TICKS.
I cannot believe I'm losing to a bunch of mascots.
The Riviera's most exclusive casino hosts the world's toughest poker tournament. Riverbell.info presents the Monte Carlo Millions. The world's top players come to the most glamorous city in the world to battle for a $3 million purse.
He's all in!
Riverbell.info presents the Monte Carlo Millions, Saturday on FSN.
All across America, here they come. The greatest thrill ride in sports is back. NASCAR comes to the California Speedway with the Auto Club 500 presented by Q Motor Oil, February 26th on Fox.
This telecast is copyrighted by the Arena Football League for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the AFL's consent is strictly prohibited.
It's the Kansas City Brigade and Orlando Predators tonight here from Hummer Field at the TD Waterhouse Center. in Orlando. Along with James Bates and Terry Norvel, Rick Peckham, glad you've joined us for this game as we're getting set for the second half. And the Brigade will receive Jay Taylor's kick. And it's Steve Smith who's back in the end zone. Jacques Rumpf, who's been called upon on an earlier kickoff. He's the up back, and he's got to be alert here. Took a long time for that ball to come down for Smith. Great move to the outside. Lynn J. Shell. And Jermaine Mays drive him out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Terrific return.
Great job, and he had to wait forever for it to come out of the soft net. Very much like the play that was blown dead earlier, and we did get a clarification at halftime on that call.
Yeah, Buddy Ward, who's one of the supervisors, a great official in this league for many years, told us at halftime that as that ball deflected off the upright, if it gets caught up in the slack net to the point where the referee down there feels that the receiver could be in danger, he'll blow that dead, and that was the case on that play in the half.
Steve Smith says, where was that whistle when I was going over by the boards? Two Predators ran him over the top.
Well, Myers in motion. Kelly avoids the rush, and Johnson can't hang on a ball that was well underthrown. Myers had headed toward the end zone. And Jared Johnson picked up where that ball was going to go, and he nearly made the sliding pick.
He picked up where he left off, too, from the first half. And, you know, sometimes that's all you need is a little spark to give you some confidence. They were picking on him earlier here. Coming out of the high motion, he does a good job on the coverage. And should have come away with it, hit him right in the hands.
Well, he's
playing with some pop and some confidence now.
He sure is. He could have 3 or 4 interceptions in this game. Jacques Rumpf in motion, the slant to Jordan. McIntyre pulls him to the turf. He reaches the 21-yard line. He'll gain 6. 3rd down coming up.
Good job up front protecting. B.J. Cohen in there at the fullback spot right now for Andy Kelly. And one thing he did good right there on Idris Price is he went down into his legs. If you're blocking that Mac linebacker, I'm sorry, BJ's there at the line spot, but Dwan Moss, you go down in his legs, he's got to go down and protect himself. He can't get those hands up and get in that quarterback's window.
Kelly lofts one for Myers, and Johnson wrestled it out of his hands, and down he goes. A leaping Greg White was trying to put the pressure on Kelly, and he went flipping head over heels in a spectacular play to start with. And then Johnson finished it off, 4th down, and 4 yards to go.
There you go, Gerard Johnson. 2 pass plays in a row. Doing a great job of coming back and playing with some fire now. I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall in the locker room in there with Jay Gruden at halftime. I'll bet you he got his guys fired them up, give him a little pep talk. He was down when he talked to Terry right before going in. Big 4th down.
Kelly with time. The pass nearly picked off by Johnson again, looking for Myers. And Idris Price from his Mac linebacker position had big pressure on Andy Kelly. And as a result, the ball goes over to the Orlando Predators on downs at the 21.
What a big series for 25. Here comes 22 White. That's Rumpf in high motion coming out of the break. And it was McIntyre on him. Here's the pressure from the Mac linebacker. Price. You know, the quarterbacks, that might have been called in the NFL. They don't protect the quarterbacks in arena football like they do in that other game. That's fine by me, though, being a former linebacker.
Hamilton on the pump fake, looking for Scott Coleman. Excellent coverage as Chris Pointer had beautiful position on Scott Coleman there. 2nd and 10 from the KC 21. Coleman out of Southern University. And he is a guy that you talk about Hamilton trying to get used to new receivers, trying to fill the shoes of Corey Fleming. Well, good luck to anyone trying to do that. That's not easy to do.
It's hard to fill the uniform of Corey Fleming, too. The big fella up in Nashville now. He was a big guy. Oh!
Brazil got involved there with Denario Smalls, and the pass incomplete. Now the Brigade are going to argue this. The pass intended for Frizzell. And the officials will talk it over, and they now rule it's an interception. And Kansas City football to the 5-yard line. Denario Smalls One of those players that James talked about had played for Kevin Porter in AF2 and finding a home last year with New Orleans and now
Rolling
Kansas
on the
City.
field, completion, end zone, touchback, first down.
That was a good call. Smalls was pushed off. Frizzell came down, pushed off on him, sent Smalls down to his backside. As he was falling down, the ball fell in his lap. Look what I found. The Brigade have the ball back. Andy Kelly and company in business when we come back.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
This year, the Arena Football League is celebrating its 20th season. And to our great fans everywhere, we've just got one thing to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, hey, honey. Hey. So, what have you been up to?
Nothing. So what have you guys been up to?
Nothing.
Smalls racks up his third career interception. His team trailing as we look forward to Sunday afternoon on NBC. Two great matchups. Los Angeles with Brian Mann at the controls there, matching up with Tony Graziani and the Philadelphia Soul. And the other matchup, of course, as we mentioned, rematch of Arena Bowl 19. It's John Dutton throwing to Damian Harrell and Chris Jackson hauling in Matt Nagy's passes for the Georgia Force. Very entertaining matchups on Sunday.
Here's the interception one more time. There's Frizzell. Well, maybe not so much of a push off, and a good athletic play by Smalls to go down and get that ball. And Smalls was pleading his case down there with the official. Wanted to make sure somebody took notice, but they finally had their conference and gave the ball to Andy Kelly, taking it away from Joe Hamilton.
Hamilton's third interception thrown this season. Brigade trying to take the lead here. It's Kelly on a deep drop, looks across the middle, throwing it behind Jarrell Myers. They really haven't found the kind of wavelength they were on last week against the Desperados. Once again, Jared Johnson right there.
Kelly throwing it right over the hands of Cloman. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. He's the jack linebacker in there right now, and it's the perfect size. He's the kind of guy you want playing that jack linebacker spot because they're restricted to that little drop zone, the 4-yard drop zone. They got to sit in there. You get those big wings out there. Sometimes you can pluck one out of the air. It's an interception.
Have Cohen, Yarnell, and Landry up front, and we get flags thrown and the play blown dead. Idris Price trying to roar in there on Landry and get to Kelly. He's complaining to the official.
Prior to the snap, ball start, offense number 5. The penalty is half the distance. Second out.
B.J. Cohen is the guilty party there. That will back the ball up to the 2.5-yard line on half the distance to the goal line. It's second down, and we'll call it 12.
Well, Price was arguing that Landry wrestled him down there, that he tackled him, held him on that. Price, of course, the MAC linebacker.
Runs the motion man. Kelly looks for him, makes the grab, ducks under the hit by Jermaine Mays. And Mike Rupp, only 5'8" tall. He's capable of spectacular catches, and he makes one here out to the 13.
Wonderful job. Watch him go up. Look at those hands. And he caught that on the back point of that football. You know, a lot of times receivers will do the drill in practice, try to catch it on that back point, and it's pretty tough to do, especially in a game-type situation. Full speed, you got guys flying at you over there by those boards. Here he is in high motion again.
3rd down and 2. And on the stop pattern, Rump's got it. He's got a 1st down as Johnson takes him down along with Price at the 17-yard line, so the drive continues for the Brigade.
Good play call by the Brigade. You got that high motion man, and you gotta respect him because he's coming off that line full speed, and he just motors it down right at the sticks. Andy Kelly knows exactly where it is. Rump knows where that 1st down marker is. You got enough cushion to respect that high motion speed, and you can't get up on it in time, and a 1st down for Kansas City.
Myers doubles back in motion. Kelly stumbles, throws, got it to Myers, and they complete the pass on a 7-yard gain. Rather improbable play. I'm sure that's not how Trez Sullivan and the Brigade threw that one up.
Kelly's tripping over his own feet. He was limping a little bit when he got up there. You have to watch that. He had the small groin pull last week. He did trip over his feet, but you know what? You know, he's a vet. You find a way to get it out there like Bernie Kosar used to. Just sling it sidearm, whatever it takes. Big pickup.
2nd down and 3. The handoff to Moss, and he's ruled to be down across the 25-yard line. And the Brigade are upset, saying he was not contacted by the defense, but the head linesman over there has blown the play dead, Julian Mapp. And Idris Price down in pain for Orlando over near that Predator bench.
He's holding his calf. Let's hope that's a cramp. You know, every time Moss runs the football, there are bodies laying on the turf. That's the 2nd time he's gone charging through there. He's fun to watch. Wish they'd hand him the football a little bit more.
Well,
got a fire burn in his
Price
belly.
is okay, and we'll step aside as the Brigade trying to take the lead here midway through this 3rd quarter.
Come into any Aaron Sales and Lease ownership store and you'll find brand new, brand name furniture, electronics, appliances, and computers. Always at the guaranteed lowest price, whether you buy or lease to own, and no credit checks. So, do the math. Nobody beats Aaron's.
Do the math.
Nobody
beats Aaron's.
It's a condition that affects millions each year.
Honey?
It's called post-Super Bowl stress disorder, or PIST. Symptoms may include depression, excitability, and an inability to deal with life without football.
What?
But there is a cure. For 20 seasons, the Arena Football League has brought football fans back to life. So don't let this happen to you. The Arena Football League Season 20, now playing at an arena television or computer near you.
I woke up in the middle of the night, terrified. Someone tried to come in my house. Fortunately, we had an ADT security system.
Mrs. Parker, this is ADT. We're receiving an alarm. Are you all right?
Yes, we're okay. I'm glad ADT was there, watching out for my family.
Don't take chances. Take control of your family's safety with ADT, America's #1 security company. Call now and save up to $200 on ADT protection packages. ADT, always there.
Cheerleaders getting everybody excited in this building with the Preds in front by 3. And a reminder that AFL Weekly comes your way Monday at 3:30 on FSN. It's a must-watch for every AFL fan. The only place where you can get highlights of every game every week. Join Laura Oakman and Howard Griffith for the most comprehensive look at the Arena Football League. A lot of highlights coming from this game and more to come. Brigade have it. 3rd down and a little more than a yard. Kelly throws. It's off the hands of Byron Dozart and incomplete. 4th and short coming up.
Well, just when we brag on that running game, you send it back out from the backfield and you try to get him involved in the passing game. And good coverage there by Moya Moore. He was all over Dozart, but he can't hang on to it. So here comes that 4th down now. All the highlights coming from the defensive side of the ball here in this second half. If we look at the 4th down conversions, Orlando's been perfect in their one shot.
Myers in motion. Mays picks him up. As Kelly is hit from behind by Henry Taylor as he throws, the pass incomplete. And the Predators on another stop. They get the ball near midfield.
Good coverage by the secondary and buying enough time for that defensive line to come through there. And coming off the edge was Henry Taylor. Jay Gruden likes this guy a lot. He likes Greg White, and he likes Henry Taylor a lot. Lost Buck Gurley, he went over to Tampa Bay. Lost E.J. Burt. He likes 96.
Taylor out of South Carolina, a 4-year veteran of the Arena Football League. As we saw earlier in the game, he caught a pass. He's a tight end as well as a defensive lineman.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 96. That's a 5-yard penalty, remains
follows up the pressure by the false start. He says, I plead guilty on that one. It's 1st and 15.
You know, you look at the big body, too, on Henry Taylor. He's a defensive end, remember. You look at the guys in the outdoor game, and a lot of them are a little bit leaner and taller. They're the speed guys, but you can't be a speed rusher in this league because you got to line up shading the end.
Flag down, the pass to Frizzell, deflected away by Smalls, who's got an interception in this game. The flag down, and let's see what Riley Johnson and his crew have for us here.
Offsides, defense, number 94, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Well, let's go back to the start. Chad Pegues out of the University of Miami, working on that defensive line along with Aaron Hamilton and Matt Walls for the Brigade, trying to hold off Orlando. The Predators trying to augment a lead of 24-21. 1st and 10 from midfield. Here's Taylor with the grab, and he's taken out immediately, shouldered to the boards by James Jordan on a short pickup of 2 yards.
Henry Taylor getting involved in there. Both sides of the ball, Iron Man football. You make a big play on defense, turn it around and go the other way. There's an Iron Man we just saw making the tackle too, James Jordan. And you see Taylor will come to the line and raise his hand. He's declaring that he's the tight end. One of the end, one's a tackle, and one's a tight end.
Here's a pass to James at the 15-yard line, and he's taken out. He reached the 10. Smalls takes him out. James getting up slowly, but it looks like an Orlando 1st down to the KC 8.
More time for Joe Hamilton. And stop it right there before we go. Take it back a step, guys, real quick here. Right here, this is the defensive end. He's got to line up shaded on that offensive lineman is what I was explaining earlier. And then there's the protection at the end of the play. Thank you.
Here's a toss to Rubin. Trying to find room. And he is stopped just short of the goal line. DeAndrew Rubin, who has been a dynamic player here for Orlando in his first 2 weeks in the league, taken down by Chris Pointer inside the 1. 2nd and goal.
Jay Gruden designing some plays, get it in the hands of number 3. He's done a good job over the years of designing it to get it in the hands of Joe Hamilton, those designed runs. You know, you talked about, he said that extra blocker earlier in there to Terry on the touchdown run. Well, there's the extra blocker too when you got that fullback and the receiver.
And off to Marlon Moore, and this time he gets in. And Orlando has upped its lead to 30-21. As a rookie, ran for 179 yards in just 9 games. That's a lot in the Arena Football League. And then had a serious knee injury that kept him out even to the start of last year. Less injury-free this year, but he hasn't been quite as productive to start with, but he finds the end zone here. And the product of Maryland, has helped the Predators to a lead of 31-21 with 2:49 to go in the third.
Welcome.
Beauty on display here at the TD Waterhouse Center, and more downstairs with Terry Norvel.
Guys, I've got Kansas City sideline reporter Danny Boatwright. You folks that watch Survivor, obviously it's the Danny Boatwright that won Survivor. Danny, this is no publicity stunt. You have a degree in broadcasting. This is what you want to do.
Oh, yeah, so I want to be on the sidelines where all the action is, and it can be more action-packed than it is in arena football. This is unbelievable. I said I survived the jungle in Guatemala, but to survive the jungle here in Orlando is a whole other story.
Speaking of the action, Kansas City starts out hot on offense, but they've had 4 straight stops on offense. What do they got to do to get back in this thing?
You know, the thing right now, our defense has really stepped it up from last week, but they're looking a little winded right now. I see their hands on their hips, they're sucking wind. Gonna have to get that defense back. So we have to get Chris Pointer back in the game to make some good defensive stops.
Thank you very much, guys. She's trying to survive Orlando, and her team's down by 10. Back to you.
Thanks, Terry. I like her chances. Not going to get voted off the island. Well, it's Jay Taylor set to kick off, and the Brigade have Smith back to receive. Now you're allowed free substitution this year on both sides of the ball on the kickoff.
That helps the big men a little bit. They get tired running down covering those kicks. Now this one's definitely going to be blown dead.
No chance of a return there, and Taylor, his job done. Has the Brigade hemmed in at the 5-yard line, and Smith looks like he's going to stay in the field.
But imagine, you know, the big guys, the 300-pounders that are rushing the quarterback, that are protecting their quarterback, and then covering on kicks. You need to go over there and get a little bit of wind.
Here are the numbers on Andy Kelly, just 50% through the air, 3 TDs and 1 interception. But Terry and Danny touched on it. Number of stops in a row for this Brigade offense. Now Myers has a first down, taken out near the 16-yard line, but in arena football, the middle of the game is very, very key. And Kansas City, of course, in the final play of the first half, suffered the interception. They were stopped at the goal line there. They had the first possession of the second half and could not score there. So a big, big turnaround in terms of momentum and defensive momentum occurred in Orlando's favor at that juncture of the ballgame. But still just a 10-point lead. The pass to Myers behind Calvin Spears, and the ball ends up out of play. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 17.
We got a bloody nose in the front row. Careful of what you wish for, arena fans. Look at that. You get to keep the ball if it goes in the stands, and well, if you don't catch it, you get a broken nose to take home. Or you get 60 stitches if you're Doug Plank, head coach of the Georgia Force. Yeah. We saw that one last year in Tampa.
I thought this guy was kind of expecting his escort to protect him on that. Myers makes the grab, wrestled down at the 24-yard line, close to midfield.
He's still rubbing the nose. Let's see if we can see that. There, he's going to be right there. Oh, there he is. It was his fault. It was this. That's that tip drill. Huh? If you're going to sit in the front row, you got to go through the practice. You ought to feel right there. Oh, see, he's looking away. He tipped it right in his nose.
3rd and 2. Kansas City has been in a lot of 3rd and 4th downs here. Last several possessions. This pass complete to Steve Smith. He's got the first down at the Orlando 19-yard line. Smith, who caught 107 balls with a soul last year, makes a big grab here.
Glade Central for those back in Kansas City that are now fans of Steve Smith. Florida football fans know about his old high school, the Raiders. There have been some great ones come through there in the NFL.
The toss to Hamilton into the secondary and finally dragged down. Big 330-pound Justin Cleveland took down Aaron Hamilton in the final play of the 3rd quarter. And the Brigade threatening the ball at the Orlando 7. And Hamilton and the Brigade will try to punch it in when the 4th quarter gets underway in just a few moments.
for a more exciting fantasy.
Sports, official athletic retailer of the Arena Football League. By Las Vegas, home of Arena Bowl 20, coming up Sunday, June 11th. And by EA Sports Arena Football. Football is more fun indoors. Well, we're ready to start the fourth quarter after a very uncharacteristic Arena Football League third quarter. One score, that by Orlando. KC shut out in the third, trailing by 10 but threatening here.
Trying to go down and answer. They were answering back and forth there in the first half, and some defense showed up and to slow down a little bit here in the second. You gonna get the EA Sports game, the Arena Football for your kids?
Absolutely. My kids love Arena Football, and they'll love it just as much. You get the video game. Batesy, defensively, what have you noticed that Orlando has done in terms of adjustments here in the second?
They've done a better job heating up the front four, the guys, the MAC linebacker and the defensive lineman. They're starting to wear down that offensive line and put some pressure on Andy Kelly.
Rumpf in motion. Can't get free in the end zone. Kelly's got plenty of time along the back end line as Jordan. He can't hang on as Kenny McIntyre stayed with him as long as he could. And it's now 2nd and goal from the 7.
Well, and just when we get on him a little bit, that offensive line, perfect up there for Andy Kelly. And just a drop by Jordan. Got to hold on to that one. That's a pretty throw.
I doubt he would have been in, but he was close.
It shows even when you're the glove, you can't cover somebody all day long when you got that much time.
They look for Myers on the fade, just out of his reach on that shortened corner in the end zone. Johnson trailing him, and it's 3rd and goal.
Back in Kansas City next week, this may be a touchdown. You see that board coming at your face and you kind of motor down a little bit. But these corners are short here in the jungle. Little hold on Johnson, gets away with it, comes over the top, but they got those corners cut off. And it's scary. Remember, those end zone walls are alive. And talking to Jay Gruden, he worries that someone's going to get a cheap one off of one of those end zone walls. Well, he got a good one at the end of the first half by Jordan.
Myers doubles back. They look for Jordan on the slant and got a shove from McIntyre, and I think they spotted it. A flag is down on a play that could give Kansas City an automatic first down. McIntyre is hot at this call, and so's Jay Gruden.
The penalty is half the distance and an automatic first down.
Well, McIntyre, if we can see after this replay, he gives him a little shove in the back, and real quick he snaps his head around to the referee to see if the flag was thrown. Watch him. Here you go. You see the hands coming off. You don't really see it. There's the helmet.
Now McIntyre ready to go head-to-head with Jordan again on 1st and goal. The fade to Jordan. He's got it. Touchdown. James Jordan, his 2nd touchdown catch of the night. This one from 4 yards out, his early one from just 2 yards out. And Kansas City's cutting the lead now.
Using that big body one more time of James Jordan against Kenny McIntyre. Look at the size difference. Hold it right there. Boom, look at that. He's a good foot taller than Kenny McIntyre almost. And earlier they used it to wall him off on the quick slant. This time they go in the corner and he just out-jumps the glove.
Nice snap. Sanders handles it. The kick is blocked, and it's picked up by Greg Krause. Fumble the ball, and Jermaine Mays has it. Mays still alive. He will score. And it's good for a couple of points for Orlando, returning the blocked extra point attempt.
Great effort. Doug Miller up front to block this thing. We just got through talking about special teams and these big men that are playing both ways. A lot of times you'll see a guy taking a kickoff off, or you'll see him taking this extra point off. Here's the touchdown first. Andy Kelly throwing it up there to Jordan. And a beautiful catch. And watch big Doug Miller. He's going to come from right up the gut, get his hands on the football, and then they keep it alive, putting it down on the turf. And finally, when he gets turned around, Jermaine Mays goes down and finds 2 points. It's 37-27 Orlando.
It's good for only 2 points. So it's 33-27. Still with plenty of time to play as we have a look at that play once again.
Well, Doug Miller's going to come right up the gut in here, right up the middle, and just keep pressing and pressing. He's going to get his hands on this ball. Here he's going to come underneath, boom, right through, and just fights through the offensive lineman and reaches out there, dives out. And then to the house, they finally take it. Mays down for the 2-point conversion, making it 33-27. But more importantly is that momentum. You think you're going to get that 1 point, and it goes the other way for 2. And now these Orlando Predators are going to get the ball back in their hands. That's a huge momentum swing for the guys in black.
Greg Krause was carrying that ball. I thought we were going to see one of those laterals that just drives you crazy. We saw quite a bit during the bowl season. Jerry and James with a leaping grab and an energetic return. Fumbled the ball at the 12-yard line. However, the Predators recover it, and it will be Orlando football. But Krause had fumbled that ball, and Jermaine Mays there to pick it up and take it in for the 2 points. Gruden and the Preds go to work. 12:02 to play. Still plenty of time for a great veteran like Kelly and his Brigade to come back. Jay Gruden knows there's a long way to go in this ball game. But Hamilton and the Predators, no doubt, have the momentum. Scott Coleman, Jimmy Frizzell, Andrew Rubin, the receivers, and the handoff to Idris Price, who stacked up at the line of scrimmage and dropped for a loss back to the 11. Rumpf and Cohen got to him, as well as DeJuan Moss, number 49.
The guy that made that play happen was our man that we got mic'd up, Lucas Yarnell, number 75. He was back in the running back's lap as soon as the ball was snapped, coming underneath that block and just driving those legs. That was a big play by the defensive lineman. He's a lot tougher than the Lucas they made the movie about with Corey Haim, don't you think?
I'd go along with that. Here's the short completion to Frizzell across the 19, where Rumpf and Smalls combined to bring him down. He's about 2.5 yards short of a first down. Jacquez Rumpf has been active at both sides of the ball. As Kevin Porter was telling us before the game, Rumpf, an example of a guy coming from AF2. He was an offensive specialist there, but he's got to play two-way here. And in action right now, Hamilton on the screen to Coleman. The 220-pounder bowls his way to a first down across midfield.
Nice big target for Joe Hamilton to hit, and then nice big body.
Injured player from the Brigade is down, shaken up.
Looks like Rumpf, Greg.
Yeah, could be, as the Brigade will attend to their fallen comrade, as it's first down at the Kansas City 24. And it's Jacquez Rumpf out of Carson Newman.
East Tennessee.
There are 5 schools from Tennessee represented on that Kansas City roster. Andy Kelly from Tennessee, Dozarts from Tennessee Martin, Rumpf from Carson Newman. We've got Denario Smalls from East Tennessee State. And Chris Sanders, Tennessee Chattanooga, as we check our key matchup and check the progress of Jordan and Rubin.
Well, they've both been big, very active. Rubin's gotten a couple of balls in the running game too, the handoffs, and Jordan's been big defensively, now 4.5 tackles, and the 1 touchdown to start off the game for the Preds by Rubin. Wesley Rumpf's going to make his way over to the sidelines. That's good to see.
Yeah, fortunately, all 3 players who've been shaken up in this game have been able to continue in the game, and it looks like Jacquez Rumpf will be able to continue here. Predators on the move and a first down and 10 at the Brigade 24. Andrew Rubin in motion. Hamilton with time, and he's got Coleman. That pass is good. He's taken down to the 16-yard line, very close to a first down. He'll be about a yard short.
Nobody at all in the face. There's good pressure and a good drive and thrust by this defensive line against the run, but they're almost non-existent at times against the pass. They're not getting any pressure. And you got to remember, Joe Hamilton, he's only 5'10", if that. You know, and that's being nice to him. And, you know, you get that window and it closes in on him a little bit more, but you got to put some pressure on him.
Great move by Idris Price, getting away from B.J. Cohen, getting a first down to the 11. But you talk about the pass rush of the Brigade, James. They've got B.J. Cohen over there, 32.5 career sacks, 9 last year, 3rd in the league. He has been contained for the most part by Jim Sedano out of East Groundberg State, who's an offensive lineman in college. He's number 70 on the Orlando front line, and he's somebody that Jay Gruden pointed out before the game. He's very impressed with how well he handled Jermaine Smith, the great pass rusher of Georgia last week. He's doing a great job on Cohen here tonight.
Back-to-back weeks, 2 of the best in the league going up against.
Hamilton steps up, throws, and it's picked off. Chris Pointer's got it, and he's still moving. Met head on by Marlon Moore, but he's still on his feet. And Pointer finally taken down. A huge play for Kansas City. Sedano got him at the 12-yard line.
There's the Jay Gruden that Joe Hamilton saw when he went over to the sidelines last week quite a bit against Georgia. He had a rough go, and this ball just thrown out there. Nobody in a black jersey in the area, but Chris Pointer, give him something to talk about tonight.
Now Pointer with his first pick of this season, and the second tonight by the Brigade. And he gives the Brigade a chance. They're only down 6 with 8:40 to go in this ball game. Bill Hamilton's been victimized on the picks twice tonight. 4 times so far this season. Chris Pointer, the latest to make the interception. And a big turnaround here as the Brigade trying to get a win on the road before their home opener next week at Kemper Arena on Sunday, February 12th at 1 o'clock against Austin. Another Southern Division battle, and Jay Gruden knows he's in quite a Southern Division battle tonight. But his team's up 6 with 8:35 and counting remaining. And the defense for Orlando has been tough to beat to this point. Spears can't hang on. Lynn J. Shell with a tough coverage out near the 20. Now you look back at that interception and wow, Jay Gruden knows that is could be a killer, but his team on the move at that time. But their defense trying to step up, and they've been able to do it. What a performance by this inexperienced, for the most part, secondary by the Predators tonight. Myers in motion. Kelly throws. Myers hands it across the 20. First down across midfield. Taken out by the entire trio there. Shell Johnson and DeAndrew Rubin, who actually plays linebacker.
Offensive line giving Kelly time and giving those receivers time to just let everything develop down the field. These receivers, they like running those routes. This is like a big pass skill for these wide receivers. They just get to go run all day, and every time you take off, you got a chance of scoring a touchdown in arena football.
Kelly on the screen to Calvin Spears. And he has his legs cut out from under a flag thrown on that hit by Johnson. Could be a pickup of about 5, but it's against Kansas City, and so that'll negate that gain.
During the play, illegal block in the back, number 94 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Remains first down.
Chad McKee's upset with himself on that one. That'll back him up to the KC 21-yard line. And they've got a 1st and 16. Webby Burnett, the line coach, talking to his charges there. Long-time great Orlando Predator.
Feeling right at home here in the jungle.
Steve Smith in motion. Kelly looking long, Smith on his break, trying to make the catch. He does! Touchdown with a flag thrown. Hamilton was right there as Smith on a 29-yard scoring play. We'll see if it stands.
Pass interference, defense, number 21. Penalties decline. The results of the play is a touchdown.
What a beautifully thrown ball by one of the best quarterbacks ever to play this game of arena football. He puts this one in there. Little stumble coming out of the break by the glove, but he recovers. And Andy Kelly drops that ball down over the hands of McIntyre, and right before those boards, that short corner in the end zone. That was perfect. Good catch by Smith.
Conduct on number 28. That foul will be put in the bank and carried over after the kickoff.
Well, Kenny McIntyre, who was upset at an earlier interference call, argues this one, even though it wasn't against him. It was against Lynn J. Shell. And now it's Tim Cedar on for the extra point. What a big one this is. His last one was blocked. If he's successful here, Kansas City leads. And the kick is good. And so Kansas City has battled back to take the lead with 6:34 remaining. 34-33, Brigade battling back as Kelly finds Steve Smith in the end zone. Lifted by the juggling catch by Steve Smith, showing us the form that made him one of the most potent receivers in the league last year.
Andy puts it up there. And look at that. Look at that throw. And here it is from another angle. And here you're going to see the call goes on McIntyre, holding the jersey right there, the little tug. And then Steve Smith, his neck folds in half almost as he goes into those boards. Wow, that right there, that's a nice throw, and that's what arena football is all about, dealing with those boards and the different windows, the different angles that you got to hit as a quarterback. Andy Kelly's big. Here's off the ball. This is live.
And it's taken by Frizzell. Down he goes to the 9-yard line as Dozart caught up to him. And that is where the Predators will take over. So Kelly with 2 passes in the end zone for scores in this fourth quarter now with 5 on the game. He's got 726 for his career. Starting action, Aaron Garcia, the all-time leader at 729 with his game, New York at Chicago tonight.
First down, Orlando.
Well, the penalty against McIntyre is assessed now, so they'll mark it back at the 5-yard line. That's where Orlando will start. But Kelly leads, the all-time leader in passes completed, thrown. He's actually catching up to Todd Hamill in interceptions, too. And number of starts, as well as yards thrown. He has blown past 37,000 yards in this game. He only needed 47 to reach 37,000 yards. He's gone well past that as Hamilton and Gruden try to work out a 2nd and 10.
And there's a ball batted down, which you'd think you'd get a little bit more of with the shorter quarterback. Good mirror technique. Those defensive linemen taught on that quick game. Get those hands up and try to knock it down if you can't get to him.
Hamilton throws. Coleman can't hang on. His corner was right there.
Send it up. They ran a game or a twist up front. This flag is going to be on an illegal blitz because the linebacker came out around the end, which you're not allowed to do.
Illegal defense, illegal outside rush, number 45. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Penalty was on Dozart. He's got, as a MAC linebacker, he's got to pressure through either A gap. That's the only change that can take place. Here you go. Dozart's lined up right here, and he can only go here or here as we play it. He cannot come around the end of that defensive end. That's a good call.
Screen to Coleman. Using his 220 pounds to good effectiveness across the 15-yard line. He's going to be a couple of yards short of a first down. 3rd down coming up.
For that rule, the flag that was just thrown, that's what makes for a true hardcore Ironman football type, that's what makes it such a great sport. It's true one-on-one, man-to-man football. There aren't a lot of twists. Well, you can't twist and stunt. It's just one-on-one battles every play.
And Frizzell yanked to the turf by Smalls, and perhaps he grabbed the face mask as a flag was thrown in there at midfield. Predators have a first down and may have more, and it looks like they're walking off the penalty against KC.
Grabbing the face mask, defense number 24. 10 yards will be tacked on. Automatic first down.
All the way down to the 15-yard line.
This is just dangerous. He's getting blocked out of there by Cloman and just reaching out there trying to grab anything he can. Just happens to be a face mask. Obviously not intentional, but very dangerous.
Hamilton has Frizzell in motion. The handoff goes to Moore. He busts free, and he's in for the touchdown. Moore for 15 yards and a score for Orlando. The Predators own the lead.
And here's the urgency that was missing from big number 9 in that first half. Gets out of there in open field, and then no one's going to stop him getting his way. Running guys over, using their backs as a sidewalk to get into the end zone. Jay Gruden will like to see that. Going back and watching that tape, he won't be happy with those runs in the first half, but he's going to like seeing the push right there.
That run will give Orlando at least 40 yards on the ground, and that's an excellent total to have in the Arena Football League. And they are going to go for 2 here, leading 39-34. Hamilton trying to find anyone open, scrambling. Dives, he gets in. Hamilton puts the Predators up by 7 with 3:31 remaining. All other options shut off. Joe Hamilton has the wheels to get it done.
Coach likes it. Coach O'Leary is coaching college at Georgia Tech.
And you saw Coach nodding his head approvingly, as well as the fact that he's seen it before. Moore for the touchdown, and Hamilton followed it up.
The Arena Football League presents the 20 Greatest Highlights Countdown. Number 19. Orlando fans were feeling confident as their Predators led the LA Avengers 63-58. But the mood in Orlando suddenly changed after this onside kick. LA recovered the ball with 14 seconds on the clock, leaving Avengers quarterback Tony Graziani with a chance to pull off a miracle finish.
Down by 5. Dance's got to get rid of it. Throws it for the end zone. Could be the last play of the game. Caught! Touchdown! The Avengers win the game!
Greg Hopkins catches it off the net. Unbelievable. In the Arena Football League, you can do that.
Graziani threw for 319 yards and 6 TDs, including this incredible last-second fling off the net. Tune in again next week as the AFL's 20 Greatest Highlights Countdown continues.
Joe Hamilton has a rushing touchdown tonight, and he's rushed for a 2-point conversion.
Well, Big Landry comes back there. He thinks he has the sack, and Hamilton steps underneath him. Dives, gets that ball just over the goal line, and that's a big 2-point conversion now with the 7-point lead. .331 to go. Huh?
An eternity.
That's right.
A long way to go in arena ball. But quite the turnaround from Kansas City's comeback, and the Predators answer. People still know this song, don't they, Batesy? I don't think they've been given a chance to forget it. Here's the bounce off the bottom iron. Rumpf right there. A good job of fielding that kick and getting decent field position for the Brigade. So from the 7, Kansas City going to work. And Kelly has got Jordan on the field with him. They've got Cohen, Walls, and Landry up front. Smith, Jordan, and Myers the receivers. Dozart is the fullback. Kelly looks for Myers. And they'll take that short gain out to the 12-yard line, picking up 5.
Gerard Johnson's had a good second half. Not just defending the pass, but stepping up and wrapping up, making those sure tackles. In the first half, he wasn't wrapping up, just coming in there and putting a hat on somebody, but you got to bring those arms too. That time he pulls Myers down to the turf. Let him get all you want from him.
Kelly fumbles the snap, but he does recover it. They're going to lose 3 yards, though. Henry Taylor in on him quickly, along with Greg White, number 95. Each had a sack last week against Matt Nagy and the Georgia Force. They're working right now at Justin Cleveland up front. Big Doug Miller, the 290-pounder, he's the MAC linebacker out there.
You got some beef coming up the middle. Look at those big guys. There's White. Oh, he's a heck of a player for Jay Gruden. He had a big first week last week. Pass breakup, a sack, a handful of tackles.
Jay Newell from the Tampa Bay Bucks. Flag down, Kelly's pass is tipped. It falls well short of the intended receiver, James Jordan, with 1:53 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
There's no foul on the play. The flag will be picked up. Incomplete pass.
And so it's a 4th down from the 9-yard line, and they have got to get to the 17-yard line to keep this drive alive. Chris Sullivan, who was the offensive coordinator in Nashville last year, conferring with Kelly.
Watch big Doug Miller here come up and take on DeVart. .135 now, 4th down, Rick. Wow.
Clock running. Kelly looks toward the end zone, and it's picked off by Mays. The ball appeared to be deflected. He'll take it in for the score. Jermaine Mays, with 1:20 and counting remaining in the ball game, returns the interception for a touchdown. His second score of the night. Orlando leads 47-34.
Offensive line has done a good job protecting that man all night long. They get a little bit too much pressure, the Predators do, on that one. Ball looked to be tipped, wound up in the hands of Mays, and it ended the other way with those defensive backs running back interceptions against the Predators up in Georgia and Atlanta against the Georgia Force last week, as Joe Hamilton threw 2 picks there in the last minute that were returned for touchdowns. This time Mays giving it to the Predators. Big stop and even bigger points on the board there.
Well, Mays scoring from midfield on that interception return, 25 yards, and that's just about where he picked up the fumble to race in with 2 points and a blocked extra point earlier here in the half. As Jay Taylor on here, we've had the 1-minute warning. And Taylor's kick is good, and Orlando has a lead of 14 points now. As we'll step aside, 48-34. The Predators have exploded for 16 fourth quarter points.
This year, the Arena Football League is celebrating.
Well, these Predator fans excited as Orlando leading 48-34. Let's have a look at our ADT defensive play of the game.
Well, ADT's all about the safety, but Andy Kelly didn't feel very safe on that one. He gets hit as he's throwing the ball. Jermaine Mays takes it to the house.
It's Greg Krause, who originally picked up that blocked extra point earlier here in the fourth quarter. And Mays took it from there. Jermaine Mays out of Minnesota, an AFL rookie. Taylor's kick Smith lets it go, and it lands out of bounds as he was concerned whether it was going to reach the bottom bar or if he could make that grab, and Taylor found just the perfect spot to put it, and it's a Brigade ball with 1 minute even remaining.
So 2 big names now on the Preds this year, in this game anyway, for Mays defensively, and also on that defensive line for Jay Gruden is Greg White, 2 guys, former Golden Gophers.
Jermaine Mays perfectly suited for arena football. He was a wide receiver with the Gophers, then in his pro career with the Vikings, switched to a defensive back. As Myers is run out of bounds by McIntyre. He wanted to get over there and stop the clock at the 10-yard line. They pick up only 5, 55.3 left.
Putting them over the boards, almost into the lap of Coach O'Leary.
There's Coach O'Leary.
Think he's enjoying his taste of arena football here?
Oh, he's enjoying every minute of it. He's right in the action, closer than when he's coaching. As that ball ends up with the first row behind Smith. And the clock continuing to run, and they're going to stop it. And we're inside the final minute. They'll straighten that out.
Gerard Johnson, this second half. You know, you had the big interception to end the first half, and it has flipped a switch in Gerard Johnson. He's covering better, tackling better. There's some energy and some pep to his step. He has a lot of confidence. Moya Moore, his big run there late in the half. Jay Gruden said he found a lot of positive in last week's game at Georgia, even though they lost. He thinks he's going to have a pretty good team, and they keep improving even within the game. And they are going to have a heck of a team here in the Southern Division this year.
Well, the clock stops and incomplete passes in the final minute, and they had to reset the clock to 51.6. They had it set to 5 minutes and 16 seconds, but now we're set to go on a 3rd down. Jordan's got a first down, but he needs a lot more as Miller takes him down at the 24-yard line. And Kansas City, with 3 timeouts available, will take one here. 44.4 left on the clock.
And while both coaches weren't too upset with an 0-1 record coming in here, they kind of liked what they saw. It really hurts to start a season 0-2, especially when that second loss comes to your division, a team in your division. You know, a lot of time left to play in arena football, but you're going to have to go downtown at some point, Andy Kelly and company, and put some points on the board and hope you get that onside kick.
Well, Jay Gruden, you heard him in the opening remarks telling his players in the dressing room, we need to win divisional games. Those are the big ones. And he's got a 14-point lead, but still time on the clock before he can celebrate a division victory here. Smith with a crossing pattern taken out by Mays. The ball ends up as a souvenir in the first row, and the clock is stopped with 35.9 seconds. And the Brigade will use their second timeout. So the ball at the Orlando 13. Kelly feeling the effects of his 138th career start. He's been taking a pounding in the second half.
Well, Andy Kelly and a lot of his teammates, and including Coach Kevin Porter, they took the pounding from Hurricane Katrina this last year, and Andy's now living in the offseason with his parents back in Ray County in Tennessee. It had just moved to New Orleans, and that was going to be where he was going to stay. Kevin Porter, his house was okay, but he had all his furniture in storage, and the storage unit flooded.
And a pump fake goes backside, and the completion made to Smith. He steps out with 31.6 to go, and the ball at the Predator 9-yard line.
Now, middle of the quarter, middle of the game, there's got to be contact made for that ball to be dead over there on the sidelines. By just stepping on that sidelines or even running into the boards at the receiver position, you're not dead. But here, trying to kill time and kill that clock with 31.6, Steve Smith steps out of bounds.
Second down and goal, Smith in motion. Kelly looks over the middle, Jordan's there, stretches and scores. James Jordan in the end zone for the third time tonight. A 9-yard scoring play there with 26.8 to play. Kansas City at this point down 8 points. As Batesy indicated, onside kick coming up for Kansas City, and that's something you see game after game in the Arena Football League. Many times it's successful, so it may be 26.8 seconds remaining on the clock. Long way to go. Cedar on the kick. Sanders the hold. And the kick is good. 48-41 with 26.8 to play.
26 seconds left. Rick, I got it. The announcer here at TD Waterhouse Center, just as they're about to snap the ball, said, don't forget, he missed one before. How'd you like to hear that if you're a kicker? Here's Kenny McIntyre down here at the bottom. Good coverage once again, but it's that big body of James Jordan that just walls him off, and he can't reach those arms around the big frame. That's the same play that started the scoring for the Brigade.
Now Kelly's thrown for 5 scores tonight, 3 to James Jordan. Henry Taylor and Jay Groot converse. And this is where your free substitution helps the receiving team, because you can get a hands team on now. As well as the kicking team, you want to recover that kick. So it's a little different than having the big lineman who rarely touch the ball entrusted with that responsibility. Our Iron Man player of the game is James Jordan with 8 catches, 3 for touchdowns, 4.5 tackles, including special teams play tonight.
He is a good-looking player. He's what this sport's all about, a lot like Barry Wagner. How many times was Barry Wagner Iron Man of the Year? 6 times. Every year from 92 to 97, Barry Wagner won that award. Played some of his games here in the black and red uniform.
James is back deep, but his 7 teammates are up near the 10-yard line. And Cedar to kick it off. Pops it in the air off the turf, batted by Calvin Spears and recovered by the Kansas City Brigade. Getting up with the ball, it's, well, who else? James Jordan.
What a perfect onside kick. That's the kind of hop you want. They got the good hop. It goes up there sky high. And batting it back into the hands of the guy who's been doing all the work, the Iron Man of the game, Jordan. Wow, that a way to keep it alive. Who was that, Myers? Was it Jarrell Myers that batted it back to him?
I think it was Spears, number 11. And Jordan grabs it. It's at the 12-yard line, 24.5 remaining. Kelly has got Myers open, finds him, and he's belted out of bounds across the 20. A first down with a clock stopped, 18.8 to play. The ball of the 21 of Kansas City.
How about it, huh? They're drooling in Kansas City right now. They get to watch this live next week.
You can see the Brigade players in the background on that bench. They're all fired up, rooting on the offense here as Andy Kelly, the grizzled veteran, brings them out. The Predators trying to hang on. They have come up with many a big defensive play tonight as the ball dumped off on the near side, and Steve Smith makes the grab at the 20-yard line. He steps out, 15.8 to play.
The Preds just letting them have everything underneath, just keeping them in front of them. You can't let a guy break a tackle like we saw in the first half and run through an arm tackle and go turn it into something big.
Well, they mark it to the college hash, wide side of the field. Myers in motion that way. They look near side, and the pass is completed to Smith once again, taken out near the Orlando 10. 11.5 seconds to go. First and goal.
And again, you're coming down into this territory. You got Kenny McIntyre up the field side. He likes to play that wide side corner. You got to think, and they do, they line up James Jordan out there on him. Remember, 2 times they've run that little slant, and the little body of Kenny McIntyre just gets outmanned.
Kelly looks, throws underneath. Jordan turns, taken down by McIntyre. The clock continues to run. New Orleans has stopped it with 5.2 to play with their, not New Orleans, Kansas City with their final timeout as the ball marked just outside the 5-yard line. So the Brigade using its final timeout here, trailing by 7, 5.2 seconds left. And I think Andy Kelly checking to see if there will be any more time put back on the clock.
That was a great open field tackle by the smaller Kenny McIntyre right there. Makes the catch, keeps him in front of him, and comes up and makes the open field tackle and puts him down. Here's the tackle one more time. There's the big body of Jordan, and just getting him down to the turf. That's all that matters.
Well, they call him the glove for his penchant for interceptions, and I guess the glove came in handy here and a big tackle. 5.2 remaining. Kelly waits, throws, and it's batted down by Mays. Steve Smith wants a flag thrown, but there will be none, and that is going to do it. The Predators with the stop to win the ball game as time expires on the great play by Jermaine Mays in the secondary. How many great plays has he come up with tonight?
Well, Andy Kelly just puts it up there and tries to get Smith to out jump. And the thing you're not seeing here is the clock, Rick. They let the clock run. This is, look at Mays, what a great job bringing that, raking that arm. But watch the clock now as this ball goes incomplete. Watching the coaches down there from Kansas City, they're yelling at the referees. Okay, it is incomplete. That is, last week at the end of the game, the Predators left the game sour and complaining because they thought there was an interference call. This week, the Kansas City coaching staff and the players are leaving very sour and salty, and for good reason. There should be one more play, enough time for one more play left on that clock.
There looked like there was 1.5 seconds remaining when that ball hit the turf. Well, that's not going to be how this game ends. It's over. Orlando wins it 48-41 in quite a battle. As the players greet each other on the field, and right in the middle of all of that is Terry Norvel with Joe Hamilton.
Okay, guys, I've got Orlando quarterback Joe Hamilton. Joe, you had to sweat out the final 26 seconds or so. Talk about it.
Well, I think personally I put us in that position as a quarterback. Some of the mistakes I made late in the game, you can't just make it, throwing an interception up 6. But we fought. You know, that's a lot to say for this team. We had character. You know, we just believed. You know, I want to thank God for the win, because without him, none of this would be possible. But we hung in there as a team. We made some plays, but we got to go back to the drawing board, make sure we work and get better. Starts off with me. Speaking of the plays that you made, talk about the 2 plays you made on the ground, the touchdown scramble in the second quarter, and then the big 2-point conversion late in the game. But that's what I got to do more of. You know, my teammates and the coach keep on saying, I use my leg, go back to the GT days, and I kind of forget about it a little bit when you're doing arena and you pass the ball so much. But best believe when you see me throughout this season, I'm going to put my legs more so in the ball games, like I'm trying to do mixing in here and there in this game. But my legs got to be a vital part of our ball game. Thank you very much, Joe. We appreciate it. Little Joe, he did it at Georgia Tech. He's doing it now for Orlando. Back to you guys up top.
Thanks very much, Terry. As Hamilton a rushing touchdown, a 2-point conversion, huge for the Predators tonight. How about Jermaine Mays there, James Bates?
Oh, wow, he was fun to watch, and no play bigger than that one. Defensively came over from his secondary spot and ripped down the ball out of the hands of Steve Smith. He had the big interception, of course, put it up there, but that's the fun that is arena football. These guys going both ways and going hard until that final bell rings.
Night after night, it comes down to the last play. Tonight, no different. Here in the jungle, Steve Smith and the Brigade storming for what would have been the tying touchdown to try to win the ball game, perhaps with a 2-point conversion. And Andy Kelly and the Brigade shut down by Orlando tonight, 48-41. Our thanks to our crew here, and for James Bates and Terry Norvel, Rick Peckham saying so long from Hummer Field at the TD Waterhouse Center in Orlando.